Today, high 61, becoming cloudy with a late night shower tonight, low 44. Little morning rain followed by an afternoon shower tomorrow with a high 58, and a shower in spots at night, low 47. Couple of showers Friday, high 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 40 at O'Hare, 43 along the lakefront, 42 this morning at Midway. Your next news update is at 5:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and this morning we're coming to you live from RJW Group, RJW Transport in Lockport, Illinois. That's our first foray into Will County.
It is.
Another county falls.
Oh, another. Did you have a rough time getting here this morning? Is everything okay?
No, it's fine.
Fine. I don't think I've ever been this far down south on 355. It's a really nice highway.
Oh, yeah, that extension is key.
Isn't it awesome?
Yeah.
That was great. So this is a new road traveled.
Maybe, or maybe you just move down to Lockport because it goes both directions. You can get back
That's
up
right.
north to all your Champaign Socialist friends in Lakeview from here as well. You just would be stationed differently.
So what do we do here at RJW?
It's a logistics company, and we'll get the download from the president of the company at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour. This, of course, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank business tour.
Yeah, we're sending a very, very large wood table. I think it's Brazilian wormwood, don't you?
Okay.
Yes.
I'll play screw tape to your Brazilian wormwood. Little C.S. Lewis for you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's nice at 5 o'clock in the morning,
It
I
is.
think.
I think it's
Go
good.
to a little C.S. Lewis. So here's the thing. What we're doing with the AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour is visiting businesses that have perfected the art of customer service. That's why they're doing so well. Well, this would distinguish them from United Airlines.
Oh, yeah, because they had a third. The CEO came out a third time. First time, defending his employees. Second time, it was about defending the policy. Now, the third time, it's a complete 160 or 180 because now he's apologizing to the man.
Yeah, mea culpa. Total
Yeah.
mea culpa. It should never have happened. It
Third
was
time's
wrong.
a charm.
Oscar Munoz, the CEO
Oscar,
of
yeah.
United Airlines, finally kind of getting it right. It's sort of jarring, actually. As much fun as we had with the good doctor, David Dow, yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're the only station that talked about his sordid past. NBC Nightly News dabbled a little bit that he had some problems, that he had taken his medical license was taken away, but they never said why.
Right, he had problems. Indictment on 98 felony counts of improperly trafficking and prescription drugs. So that could be a problem. And then one of the incidents, as reported by the Kentucky Medical Board, because that's where he hails from, was a man comes in complaining of chest pains, and of course he proceeds to do the customary genital exam.
Well, that's, when I go in for chest pains, I expect
Sure.
a full gynecological exam.
Chest
Yes.
pains? All right, well, take your pants off and let's get started.
Well, last night they had a protest at O'Hare.
Well,
Don't
I
you
mean,
know?
and just the thing
Okay,
about
yes.
David Dow, because we got, chastised, we got some hand slapping yesterday. I understand that his past professional history is not relevant to what happened to him on that flight, particularly that past history that's some 12 years old. It's just interesting. It's just another texture. It's just more texture to the story. It's just another layer. You want to know more about the guy who suffered at the hands of the goon squad that was dispatched by Chicago Department of Aviation, where he fell on the armrest, and if he doesn't shut up, he may fall again.
I just keep visualizing over and over in my head this repetitive motion.
No, I'm not going. I am not going.
Oh, that was the wrong thing. Well, that's what he said. So this is new audio, Dan. And if we can't get yesterday's audio up on the board of him saying, I've got to go home, I've got to go home, I've got to go home. Remember, and he's running up and down the plane. But this is him before when the first time they approached him, he said, no.
No, I'm not going.
Clearly.
I am not going.
And
He was wrong. He is going.
You're going to go. You're going to go whether you like it or not. That's what you're going to do.
I have to go home. I have to go home. I have to go home.
Well,
I
that
have
was-
to go home.
That was when he got back on the plane after being dragged out.
I know.
I don't know.
No one knows how that happened.
How did he slip
So he got
away from the security personnel that deplaned him? Excuse me, reaccommodated him.
or relocated
and
him.
get back on the plane and to then be milling about. It was a little bizarre.
Yeah, nobody can figure that out. One passenger that was on the plane that took this Twitter video that's gone, viral, that millions of people have seen it around the world, said that they got him off and he still didn't want to get off, so they were treating his wounds, and then the officers left for a second, and then he kept running up and down, and they thought that he was acting delirious because of a possible head wound.
Yeah. I'll show you a head wound.
Yes.
That's not a head
But
wound. That was a
thought,
scratch.
everybody on the plane thought he was rendered unconscious because when they were dragging him, and it was a lifeless body.
Yeah.
So this morning, I found out he's at Lutheran General Hospital. He has lawyered up. He has two attorneys.
I bet he does.
And he's being treated for the head wound and then the psychological damage that it caused.
Yes. Mr. Dow conferring with attorneys is not a new occurrence for him, per his previous professional conduct. But here's the thing. Apparently, this has become an epidemic because on Monday, a woman was dragged off a Delta Airlines flight by Detroit Metro Airport Police, and she may face criminal charges. This.
Well, what did she do, though?
Yeah.
Let me guess. The flight was oversold, and they needed a passenger to get off.
Well, here's no, it was not that. It
Not
was
that simple,
It
Dan?
was. This was more obstreperous behavior. So she literally is being pulled down the aisle like David Dow, lifeless body, like they're taking out a carcass.
Really?
I mean,
Like a sack of potatoes, huh?
At first, she sounded like she's unconscious, and she wasn't physically assaulted, other than because she wouldn't move. She was pulled, and then she just, she's like a child. Like when you try and pull a kid, you just, right? Just, yeah, I'm not going, and you just have to drag the body. But that's what these people are. It's bizarre. So
I want to see this. I want to hear it.
It's not David Dow quality audio because people are just waiting for the flight to leave, and they're talking and milling about, and then all of a sudden they see a large woman being pulled down the aisle beside them, and then there's some
Does she have
reaction.
a short shirt?
A midriff exposed. Another
Darn it,
midriff
another
exposed.
one?
Yeah.
Got to work on our abs,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, listen, when you're going to go on a commercial air flight, maybe you should tuck in your shirt.
Wear a moo-moo.
But I mean, you want to tuck in your shirt and cinch it, because when you're dragged down the aisle, you don't want it riding up on you.
Yeah, nobody.
464 radio. Send us a car.
That's crazy. That's crazy. God, oh my God.
Lucky man, it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, so here's what happened. A passenger told a travel blogger who was apparently who blogged this video that the woman boarded the plane without checking in at the gate. According to the bystander, she blew by the gate agent and didn't check in because she wasn't an early boarder and deserved overhead bin space. The passenger also claimed the woman was mouthy and had a huge attitude. Authorities did not confirm a taser was used. That is an open question. Don't tase me. Don't tase me, bro. So that's Delta Airlines in Detroit.
Well, back here at home last night, they had a protest outside of O'Hare. People are upset, and they said that Mr. Dow, God, I'm so rude, was kicked off the plane, and that this is a racist moment.
If we replace this with someone who was white, we question whether the same level of treatment and escalation of violence would have happened.
And they were
give me a
chanting,
break.
overbooking has to stop.
Right now, we actually incentivize the airlines to overbook. This is about trying to make just another buck.
Jan,
Calamity Jan
she was-
Schakowsky. Was Creamy Bob, her convicted felon husband, there?
No, he was trying to board a plane. Oh! Yeah, it was, Jan Schakowsky was there. Of course she was there because the cameras were there.
Text from MB Davis's bowling ball. Should I be suspicious when my dentist claims the prostate exams are value added? It really depends on the nature of your relationship with your dentist, I'd say. Dan and Amy coming to you live from RJ Group in Lockport, Illinois, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
All right, today warmer with some sunshine, Dan. That'll be nice for you for a nice day if you want to go golfing. A high of 61 degrees. Then tomorrow, a little morning rain followed by a shower in the afternoon, a high of 58. Let's get into our Alarm Detections Traffic Center. We have a beautiful view here of 355. Jim, what are you looking at?
Looking at pretty clear sailing throughout the area, Amy, and from what I can tell, it looks pretty good there where you are, too, right off the Veterans Memorial Tollway. There was a fair amount of overnight construction and some overnight closures in Chicago. In fact, Lakeshore Drive was closed at the Chicago River, but that was for bridge testing. That's all wrapped up. Lakeshore Drive is fine. Got a little heavy traffic now on inbound I-57, the ongoing CTA work in the left lane, about a 2-minute delay. Outbound on the Rhine, at the south end near 95th, there's a left lane closure. That continues on to the Bishop Ford. The left lane closed from the Rhine to Michigan Avenue. Then 2 right lanes are closed, Michigan Avenue to King Drive. But aside from that, things look really good right now throughout the Chicago area. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
It's upstream-ideas.com. That's the website, our digital platform that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews featuring this week on our Against the Current series, David Keene, the former president of the NRA. Man on the Street, Follow the Logic segments. This week, we're on the campus at UIC seeing if undergrads can follow the logic on higher ed funding in Illinois, and they do a fairly decent job. They may surprise you. 60-second commentaries from yours truly, Podcast of Illinois Rising, our policy program that focuses on Illinois politics and policy. You can also hear it Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves. 60-second commentaries, as I mentioned, dollars and cents, reviews, 2-minute warnings about bad actors in public office in Illinois. Go to upstream-ideas.com and sign up today.
Lately, it seems you're not feeling quite right, as if your body is working against you. Dr. Amy and Associates can help create a path to achieve optimal health. Experience personalized health care for your mind, body, and spirit at a practice that blends holistic and traditional medicine.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Harris-Nuon of Dr. Amy and Associates. One of the services we provide, mental health and wellness. We see children, adolescents, and adults for individuals, couples, and family counseling. We even do psychiatry and medication management. All of our thoughts, feelings, and actions are a result of those conditioned ways of thinking, feeling, and being that lead us to make decisions. And so I work with individuals to help them understand and help them create a new blueprint to move them from a negative mindset to a positive mindset.
Call Dr. Amy and Associates to experience a whole-person integrative approach to health and wellness. 630-980-1400 or visit dramyandassociates.com. Dr. Amy and Associates, empowering people, changing lives.
AM 560, The Answer. Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity. Right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan, you should have seen that protest last night. 25 people showed up.
Yeah, 25 people and 15 politicians.
Exactly.
And 5 cameras to cover the politicians. That's the groundswell for Dr. Dow in this incident, regardless of how poorly you think United Airlines and security personnel acted.
There's a new hashtag, too. Everyone had it on their signs. Hashtag Unfriendly Skies Chicago. It's very exciting.
So creative and vicious. Oh.
The bravery to stand out there in the cold like that. Oh, it was in the mid-50s and hold your signs and cheer with the politicians.
Yeah, the bravery to be a congressional staffer who's tasked to stand out there with Calamity Jan or the
Congressman Lipinski.
Yes, the Undertaker.
Yes. But seriously, if there was a white woman, do you think they would have dragged her off the plane like that? Do you think his gender or race mattered at all? No.
I mean, seriously.
No, seriously. If that was a petite little woman, do you think they would have dragged her off like that? Maybe they would have lifted up the armrest instead of kept it down?
I mean, if I perhaps they will react differently to a dude rather than a chick. Yeah. But other than that, the idea that this was somehow
racist.
He was randomly selected, number one, and I'm sure they're not exactly excited about the fact that he was randomly selected in the first place. He's such a oddball. I mean, he is. the behavior is not the behavior of an adult male. I'm sorry.
No, unless he had some real head injury that he started acting erratic and running around after the incident because he wanted to go home. He's like, I got to go home. I got to go home. And people thought that that's due to his head injury.
And when he was screaming like a little girl because he wouldn't get up out of his seat and they grabbed him initially, that's also some part of some kind of pre-traumatic stress disorder he's suffering from. Give me a break. Are there any adults left in this world other than the guys that made him fall down and go boom into the armrest? I mean, seriously. And by the way, as I mentioned, the Delta flight in Detroit, a woman. Try this on and see if your friends on the left can even comprehend what you're saying. Behavior, not demographic characteristics. Behavior is what matters. Behavior is what people are responding to, not your race or your religion or your gender or your whatever other buckets that we have to cover when it comes to everybody's personal story and their truth. Your profession, your GPA, whatever it is. It's that you're being disruptive, you're not complying, you're behaving like an arse, as apparently was the case at the Delta flight in Detroit. Is that something that registers at all for people, that your interaction with other people is largely determined by your behavior, not your race or gender or religion? Is that crazy talk? Is it even within the realm of possibility that could be the case? Or did we just happen upon the 3 security officers in addition to the one major carrier that is looking to target senior citizen Asian doctors from Kentucky? Is that a more plausible explanation? Because that's what I'm hearing from these dingbats that were out at O'Hare.
Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of them. They were very angry, Dan.
It's horrible. It's not just unfriendly skies. It's unacceptable skies. That's what they're displaying.
And here's a Sarah Nelson from. Oh well, they were upset. They're taking it to the streets, and so are the flight attendants. Here's Sarah Nelson. She's the head of the Association of Flight Attendants.
This was inexcusable from start to finish. It was not right. It's being looked at. Procedures are going to be changed. Training is going to be better.
Yes. Training is going to be better. Maybe try not to let them get in their seat before you try and tell them that they have to get off the plane. Because I met someone yesterday at that Genius Bar, the iPhone store, and she said, that happened to me, but they tell you before you even board the plane. So that's how Southwest Airlines handles it. So that you don't get comfy in your seat and think, okay, we're going to take off, and then they come and tell you got to get out. I think that's and then offer another more incentive, more money, offer more money.
Yeah, I mean it's easily solved. All this, everybody's got to weigh in. Everybody's got to say the same thing. Everybody's got to do the same virtue signaling. It's so obvious. It's just so obvious. We need congressional hearings. We need a protest. We need every representative of every stakeholder group. We need everybody who's ever been on an airplane to comment on this because it's so complicated. And I'm so outraged. I'm not outraged about, 500,000 people dead in Syria. I'm not outraged about a judge, Cook County Circuit Court judge, murdered in his home. But this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is where I draw the line. Some, goofball won't get off a plane and he gets a bloody lip. This is the end of Western civilization if we know it. So let me, weigh in with my fact-free opinion about how aviation economics and about how airlines should run, because I've got an opinion about that, and I want to be heard too. I'm important too, and I'm morally indignant, and I want people to recognize my moral indignation so they can say, you know what, you're right. Good for you for standing up against United Airlines and on behalf of poor Dr. David Dow.
And
Give me a break.
Congressman Lipinski.
Well, I think it's unacceptable what United did to that passenger.
I know, it's unacceptable.
Pulled off that flight.
Blah, 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 blah.
It may take
Shut up.
Federal.
Go away. We don't need members of Congress.
Hear from him. And then he's talking about this. You're right.
We don't need members of Congress to weigh in on every occurrence in our lives. Mel in Mount Prospect, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Munoz had a heart transplant a number of months ago, and I'm wondering how long. Maybe, the cowardly lion maybe doesn't have a heart. But anyways,
Yeah,
I'm just
vicious.
wondering the stress. I know a guy that had a heart, and they take all kinds of pills. I mean, he's loaded. He's like a walking dispensary. But I kind of feel bad for the guy, even though, it was out of his hands. It was totally out of his hands.
You're talking about the United CEO.
Yes. Munoz.
Yeah.
He had a heart
You feel bad for Munoz. You're the only guy in America
I
who's.
probably am. I probably am totally out of his hands.
Yeah, of course it was. I mean, thanks for the call, Mel. Of course it was out of his hands. I mean, Oscar Munoz dispatches the Black Ops Squad from United Airlines. Of course it's out of his hands. And I mean, think about the tens of millions of enplanements a year, the hundreds of thousands of flights a year, and you have all this personnel, and you have a bad judgment call starting with the failure to just keep anteing up when you couldn't get 4 volunteers with the travel vouchers and overnight stays they were offering. Of course. If Oscar Munoz was there, would it have probably gone down differently? Yeah, I think so. But, these things happen, and there should be an adjustment, and there should be a mea culpa, and you got all that. So can everybody just kind of get over how much they care about this now? Can everybody kind of get over themselves?
But what about the candlelight vigil and my Mylar balloon that I
exactly.
brought to hang outside of Lutheran General Hospital?
No, I like your designer David Dow T-shirts, too. I mean, right, free David Dow from Lutheran General. Make him whole again.
I don't even think he needed stitches.
Yeah, so he can get back to those genital exams he likes so much. Dan and Amy coming to you live from RJW Group in Lockport, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, this roof is so needy.
Call Crumweedy.
How do you spell that?
KRUMW.
Oh, just go to myroofisneedy.com.
If your roof is needy, call Crumweedy. This is Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
And I'm Mark Olson from Crumweedy. We are a third-generation family-run business, and we have been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
You can't do that unless you do really great roofs. We share the same conservative values as you, and we want to do your roof. Here's what you can expect.
First, no high pressure. You make the choice. Whatever option you choose, count on getting a roof that lasts at a fair price.
You see, application is the key. We follow the manufacturer's specifications so your warranty is intact. A lot of companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty.
Our installation is outstanding. No horror stories here. The roof you need that will fix your problems. When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
Go to myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm almost 87 years old, and I have had irritable bowel syndrome. I really feel better at my age. I'm telling you, I was weak and weary and just afraid to go any place because of this irritable bowel thing, and now I'm doing better. My doctor's already taken me off I think that's the name of it, for your cholesterol. I did a test, and he said, you don't have extra cholesterol, and he took it away from me. Isn't that wonderful? I'm amazed. I really, truly am. I thought these old people on here giving these commercials were full of stuff, and they surely didn't mean it. And they do mean it.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Rexon in Moscow and Putin spreading his propaganda. We'll discuss it all at 5:38.
And later, should Sean Spicer go? A rare apology last night from the Trump administration. But first, let's get into our newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
Investigators are questioning a person of interest this morning in the deadly shooting of a Cook County judge on Chicago's South Side. Judge Raymond Miles was gunned down early Monday outside his home after confronting a suspect who had already shot his girlfriend. President Donald Trump says he will not be sending American troops into Syria.
When you drop gas or bombs or barrel bombs, they have these massive barrels with dynamite, and they drop them right in the middle of a group of people. And in all fairness, you see the same kids, no arms, no legs, no face. This is an animal.
Trump making the pledge this morning in an interview with Fox Business News host Maria Bartiromo. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer apologizing for comparing the president of Syria to Adolf Hitler, talking about Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in a press briefing.
I'm absolutely sorry, especially during a week like this, to make a comparison that is inappropriate and inexcusable.
A new report shows the FBI got a warrant to surveil a former Trump campaign advisor because of possible ties to Russia. Washington Post reporting the FBI and Justice Department showed a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court judge there was probable cause to believe Carter Page was acting as a Russian agent. 3 explosions. It injured a player on the team bus of a major German soccer team, or part of a targeted attack. Dortmund was getting ready to play in a Champions League quarterfinal match when the blast occurred. Kansas remains red as Republican Ron Estes is an easy winner in a special congressional election in that state to take over the seat vacated by Mike Pompeo. John Giles, guitars for that band, Jay Giles Band. Dead in his home in Groton, Massachusetts on Monday. Cause of death not determined. Frontman Peter Wolf says Jay Giles was 71. Other news we're following this morning. The Page County Sheriff's Office searching for 2 men suspected of stealing a handgun last month from a shop in southwest suburban Burr Ridge. The FBI increasing the reward amount for information leading to the arrest of a Janesville, Wisconsin man suspected of stealing guns and threatening attacks in an anti-government manifesto. Indians 2-1 winners over the White Sox. Cubs and Dodgers resume their 3-game set at Wrigley Field. And the news, a service of Grasshopper. As entrepreneurs, you're always on the go. That's why they created Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Get all the features of a business phone system and the freedom of a cell phone with their mobile apps. See how it works at grasshopper.com. Grasshopper is the entrepreneur's phone system. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Metro's 95% on-time dependability helps you get to work on time no matter what's happening on the roads. Find the station nearest you at metrorail.com.
Did you know that if you have mutual funds in your IRA, 401k, or investment accounts, that according to Forbes magazine, you could be paying as much as 3.17% in hidden fees every single year? 3.17% may not sound like much, but over 10 years, it's costing you 32%, whether your fund is up or down. Hi, it's Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group in Chicago and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560. This is just one of the reasons I hate mutual funds, and you should too. You may not know this, but you have far more investment options today without the excessive fees. Learn what they are in my free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds. What you learn may shock you. To get your free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds, call 630-519-4742. There's no obligation. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Gatto Industrial Platers, Inc. is the specialist in zinc and zinc nickel plating. Gatto is big, they're good, and they're easy to work with. Their high production rack plating line has up to a 15-foot capacity to handle any zinc plating requirement. Gatto's 210,000 square foot facility can process 300 tons per day and offers complete custom packaging with available pickup and delivery in the Chicago metro area by Gatto's own fleet of trucks. All of Gatto's products are inspected and certified to ensure that each customer is receiving the best and most cost-effective plating protection. Gatto is home to King Kong, the largest zinc plating line in North America that can zinc plate parts up to 27 feet long and weighing up to 8,000 pounds. For a quote and fast 24 to 48-hour service, call George Gatto Jr. or George Gatto Sr. at 1-800-290-1223. That's 1-800-290-1223. 1-800-290-1223.
5:39, time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com. Providing the right climate for business since 1935. And a quick check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Don Eisenhower, heavy First Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue, 31 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. The Edens and Kennedy are fine. Stevenson, 38 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 18 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 423, traffic service. Westin Hotels and Resorts. At Westin Hotels and Resorts, they offer a menu of delicious superfoods. Why? Not because they give you actual superpowers. It's so you can rise above travel's disruptions and stay in control of your well-being. Eat well with a Superfoods RX menu. Westin, let's rise. It's traffic, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. A warmer day ahead. Sunshine will mix with clouds. High of 61 at O'Hare, cooler Lakeside, 39 right now. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Health Quest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Dan and Amy are coming to you live from RJW Transport, RJW Group in Lockport, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour down here in scenic Will County. Yesterday, Rexon went from the G7 meeting to Moscow to sit down with his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov. You had Putin, who was meeting with the Italian Prime Minister, weigh in on the matter of U.S. policy towards Syria and the missile strike and suggest that, does Putin, that America is planning more missile strikes, and they're including on the capital, Damascus, and they're going to blame Assad's regime for the resultant destruction from those forthcoming strikes. This is Putin's posturing that to essentially continue to, at least rhetorically, prop up Assad. Rexon was pretty clear yesterday in terms of the Trump administration position on Assad's future as the authoritarian head of the state of Syria, such as it continues to be a state.
We do not want the regime's uncontrolled stockpile of chemical weapons to fall into the hands of ISIS or other terrorist groups who could and want to attack the United States or our allies. Nor can we accept the normalization of the use of chemical weapons by other actors or countries in Syria or elsewhere. The U.S. is grateful for the statements of all of our partners who have expressed support for our timely and proportional response. As events shift, the United States will continue to evaluate its strategic options and opportunities to de-escalate violence across Syria. Many nations look to the Geneva process to resolve the Syrian conflict in a way that produces stability and gives the Syrian people the opportunity to determine their own political future. And our hope is Bashar al-Assad will not be a part of that future.
Not a part of the future, and Tillerson placed the blame squarely on his good friend, as we're told by the left, in advance of his confirmation as Secretary of State, because he did business with the state of Russia as the CEO of Exxon. He was going to be another Russian toady. This whole administration are Manchurian candidates for Putin. That narrative is...
He won an award in Russia. Putin, you can see the video, pinning that award on him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's not. He's holding firm, and I'm very impressed with Rex Tillerson so far.
Well, here's what Tillerson said about Russia's culpability in the chemical attack.
It is also clear Russia has failed to uphold the agreements that had been entered into under multiple UN Security Council resolutions. These agreements stipulated Russia as the guarantor of a Syria free of chemical weapons, that they would also locate, secure, and destroy all such armaments in Syria. Stockpiles and continued use demonstrate that Russia has failed in its responsibility to deliver on its 2013 commitment. It is unclear whether Russia failed to take this obligation seriously or Russia has been incompetent. But this distinction doesn't much matter to the dead. We can't let this happen again.
Can't let this happen again. Russia either did not take their commitment seriously or they're incompetent. That's pretty strong language in the diplomatic arena from the Secretary of State, which was followed up by pretty strong language from SecDef Mattis on the same topic.
The Syrian regime should think long and hard before it again acts so recklessly in violation of international law against the use of chemical weapons.
Think long and hard, suggesting that what has been suggested by the Trump administration since the chemical attack, and certainly since the responding strike on Thursday night, that they're willing to man that red line that they've drawn in terms of the use of chemical weapons. By the way, for the conspiracy theorists out there.
Oh, yes. Hi. I'm right here.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
Right.
Sometimes conspiracy theorists.
That suggests that, this was an Assad, this was some kind of false flag operation, and trying to pin it on Assad for the purposes of enticing the Trump administration into war. Mattis on the responsibility for the chemical attack, first and foremost, with Assad.
It was very clear that the Assad regime planned it, orchestrated it, and executed it. And beyond that, we can't say right now. We know what I just told you. We don't know anything beyond that.
And right now we're waiting to see Secretary Tillerson is obviously in Moscow. He's meeting with the powers that be, but we don't know yet if Vladimir Putin is going to come down and meet with him. Normally when somebody's first visiting as a Secretary of State, there's always, it's diplomatic to come down and shake hands and have a face-to-face discussion, but that might not happen here. So we're waiting to see if Putin will meet with Rex Tillerson. But in the meantime, Donald Trump last night was on with Maria Bartiromo discussing some hard rhetoric for Assad.
We're not going into Syria, but when I see people using horrible chemical weapons, which they agreed not to use under the Obama administration, but they violated it. Frankly, Putin is backing a person that's truly an evil person. And I think it's very bad for Russia. I think it's very bad for mankind. It's very bad for this world. But when you drop gas or bombs or barrel bombs, they have these massive barrels with dynamite, and they drop them right in the middle of a group of people. And in all fairness, you see the same kids, no arms, no legs, no face. This is an animal.
Well, it's interesting. That certainly also disrupts the media's narrative about Trump and Russia. Mm-hmm. And this administration in Russia is speaking pretty consistently. Now, the problem with what Trump said there is he's expanded the horrors to, which is correct in terms of description, expanding the horrors to include conventional weapons that the Assad regime is using to slaughter Syrian people. That's actually happening. But does that mean that the barrel bombs and the continued carnage there will also lead to more military intervention by the Trump administration? That's not what Mattis said. I mean, to Trump, you heard Trump in the first bite that you played say, we're not going into Syria. And Mattis restated that ISIS is the focus here. That's what we're doing in Syria, focusing on ISIS, not regime change.
Bob, the goal right now in Syria and the military campaign is focused on accomplishing that, is breaking ISIS, destroying ISIS in Syria. This was a separate issue that arose in the midst of that campaign, the use by the Assad regime of chemical weapons, and we addressed that militarily. But the rest of the campaign stays on track exactly as it was before Assad's violation.
So essentially saying that it was a one-time strike solely because of the use of chemical weapons in violation of the Geneva Convention, and we're going to enforce that. We're going to enforce these UN resolutions, even if the UN isn't particularly interested in doing so or assisting in the process. So that's fairly clear in terms of the thinking. You can agree or disagree with the thinking, but at least we have the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of State, the President of the United States more or less saying the same thing, and their position on Syria and ISIS and Russia coming into focus, at least with respect to Syria and the discussion of regime change. That is something that they would like, as Tillerson said. It doesn't see a stable, peaceful future in Syria with Assad as a part of it, but the focus is for the campaign in Syria is on the eradication of ISIS in places like Raqqa. Dan and Amy coming to you live from RJW Group in Lockport, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Forecast for today, it's going to be warmer with some sun mixing with some clouds. Pleasant, a high of 61 degrees. Tonight, there's going to be a shower toward dawn, and then tomorrow, a little morning rain, followed by a shower in the afternoon, a high of 58 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Next, Amy, good morning. Good morning, Dan. Kennedy inbound, heavy now. The River Road toll to Canfield, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound fine at 20. The Edens is still clear. Inbound Eisenhower, 32 minutes. Thorndale to the post office downtown, outbound still fine at 29. Stevenson is 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 22 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Tollways are good. Northwest Indiana clear. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Spring is here, the birds, the bees, and, seasonal allergies. And the last thing you need is a pillow you're allergic to. And yes, my pillow, the best pillow in the world, is hypoallergenic. A good night's sleep is so important to our health. And so for the month of April, you'll receive the 50% discount on a MyPillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, all for the price of 1. Now with MyPillow, you can move that patented fill to give you the exact support you need regardless of sleep position. You'll get into deep sleep faster and stay there longer. No more waking up to a stiff neck or a headache. Our good friend Mike Lindell manufactures them in the good old US of A, and you can wash and dry your MyPillow. And, of course, you'll get the 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Convinced? You should be. So go to MyPillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y, in that promo code to get 50% off your 4-pack, or visit MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com, or call, I should say, 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Don't like what the big banks have been doing lately? Time to call Townstone. I guarantee you can have confidence when calling me at 312-896-2110 or going to townstone.com that our only interest is getting you the best refinance deal available and to make sure your home purchase closes on time and without headaches. Do you have a jumbo mortgage, great credit, just want a smooth refinance with low or no closing costs and a great rate? Townstone Financial is the place to contact. We beat the big banks every day, and that's not just a saying. I had a call last week on a jumbo mortgage where a bank was charging $5,000 in closing costs. Not only was Townstone able to do the loan for no closing costs, but we were also able to beat the big bank's interest rate by a quarter point. Do yourself a favor. Check with Townstone before you refinance your mortgage or start a new home purchase. We will compete with anyone. Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. So call 312-896-2110 or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
How would you like to lose 10, 15, even 25 pounds in the next 30 days? Well, I'm about to tell you how you can do it for free right now. You've probably heard of Beachbody or seen their workout DVDs on TV like P90X, Insanity, and 21 Day Fix. Well, they just launched a beta trial of their new online video service called Beachbody On Demand, and they're inviting you to use it for free for 30 days. Now, here's the catch. In return, all they want is for you to let them know what you think of their new on-demand service so they can make it the best fitness and weight loss site ever created. Just text the word STREAM to 303030 and you can do 30 days of P90X, Insanity, Brazil Butt Lift, or one of 500 other Beachbody workouts for free. And that means you can lose 10, 20, even 30 pounds without paying a dime. Just text STREAM to 303030. That's STREAM to 303030 to get started for free right now.
Message and data rates may apply. Membership fees apply after 30-day free trial. Cancel anytime.
Well, we're at RJW Group in Lockport today, this morning, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour that we've been on all spring, and we're continuing. We're celebrating local businesses overcoming the odds and succeeding in spite of the challenges they face. We're making businesses great again, giving back to the business community by broadcasting our show from various locations throughout Chicagoland. Does your business have a great success story? If so, we want to hear about it. Go to 560theanswer.com/business. Fill out the brief form to tell us about how you and your business are beating the odds to serve your clients and community. We're going to select a few more businesses as stops on our AM 560 Business Tour to broadcast from your location and share your success with our audience like we're doing at RJW Group today. Go to 560theanswer.com/business to tell us your story. That's 560theanswer.com/business. And we may be stopping at your location this spring on the AM 560 Business Tour presented by Signature Bank.
Go to where the pros go. McGrath Printing and Custom Apparel.
If you're a business owner with commercial printing needs, contact our friends at McGrath Printing Custom Apparel, proud supporters of AM 560 and Food for the Poor. McGrath takes care of all print and apparel needs for companies of all sizes. Chicago's biggest names in manufacturing, pharmaceutical, and medical choose McGrath Printing year after year for truly unmatched customer service and reliability. Mention AM 560 and receive 20% off your first order. That's right, 20% off by mentioning AM 560. For a quick quote, visit McGrathPrint.com, McGrathPrint.com, or call 815-356-5246. That's 815-356-5246. Go to where the pros go.
Go to where the pros go. McGrathPrint.com. McGrathPrint.com.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My water heater broke down.
Sorry, but your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover water heater breakdowns.
So, what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my water heater?
I'm afraid not.
But his water heater could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus components of 20 other major home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. Home insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Life happens. Have a plan. Get a home warranty from American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. That's 1-800-300-2127. 1-800-300-2127.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. I hired a loan officer who worked for the lender who boasts about having low closing costs, and I now have indisputable proof my closing costs are over $1,000 less than my competitors. I am so confident my rates and closing costs are lower than any of the other advertisers on this radio station. I'll make a donation to Cal's Angels if they aren't. When securing a mortgage, you could either work with lenders who constantly talk about low closing costs, or you could work with me, a lender who actually has low closing costs. Then think about all the things you could do with an extra $1,000 when my team originates your loan. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, 4358, NMLS 19186.
5:57. Check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens is fine. Kennedy inbound. Got a 2 or 3 minute delay coming out of the River Road toll to Canfield. Outbound still good. The Eisenhower is 34 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 30. Stevenson, 41 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 24 minutes. 95th to downtown. Traffic is a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, the Dual Cam Sports Action and Dash Camera is on sale for $69.99. It's the only dash cam that's also an everything else cam, and right now it's $69.99. That's Napa know-how. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer will continue after a full update from Fox News, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
A warmer day today with sunshine mixing with some clouds, high 61. Tonight becoming cloudy with a shower toward dawn, low 44. Morning rain followed by an afternoon shower tomorrow, high 58 and a low 47. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Officially 39 at O'Hare, the news a service of Westin Hotels and Resorts. They offer running gear to their guests. Why? Well, it's not to help you race to catch up on your flight. It's so you can pack less and work out more while on the road because they know what a runaround travel can be. Weston Workout Gear Lending. Weston. Let's rise. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer. Investigators are questioning a person of interest this early morning tied to the deadly shooting of a Cook County judge on Chicago's South Side. 2 12-year-old boys are recovering following a shooting in Chicago's Old Town neighborhood. The Kane County Coroner's Office says 2 18-year-olds found unresponsive in a car last month in suburban St. Charles died of carbon monoxide poisoning. Indians over the White Sox, 2-1. Cubs and Dodgers resume their series at Wrigley Field. More Dan and Amy after Fox News, WINT Chicago News Time, 6.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. The first visit to Russia by a senior member of the Trump administration, a tense one, focusing heavily on Syria.
We further clarify areas of sharp difference so that we can better understand why these differences exist and what the prospects for narrowing those differences may be.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson after meeting with Russia's foreign minister, who accused the U.S. of carrying out an unlawful attack on the Syrian regime with last week's missile strike on a Syrian base, calling the new administration's ideas very ambiguous and contradictory. Meantime, the White House spokesman facing calls to resign for comparing the Syrian leader to Hitler. Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Lisa, during the White House briefing yesterday, Press Secretary Sean Spicer incorrectly stated that even Adolf Hitler didn't sink to using chemical weapons during World War II, as President Bashar al-Assad has. The comment made during Passover week caused an outcry, as Hitler did send millions of Jews to gas chambers, and Spicer expressed regret.
Obviously, that is not what I was intending to do, and I obviously, especially during this week, regret using that term and apologize.
The Anne Frank Center called for Spicer to be fired, as did House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi. Lisa.
Thanks, Rachel. More firefighters joining the battle against Florida wildfires. Fox Radio's Eben Brown live in Miami.
Lisa, this is the time of year here in Florida when it dries out and the humidity is low and the rain is infrequent, but that leaves big wooded areas like the Everglades and other undeveloped parts of the state ripe to burn, and it's worse this year, prompting an emergency declaration. More than 800 fires are being fought, and compared to 2016, where we had 21, so the fire activity is extremely off the charts. More than 23,000 acres are burning, and 19 homes here have been destroyed, Lisa.
Thanks, Evan. Meantime, flash flooding in Texas. One man's missing. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Do you own or run a business in Illinois that succeeded in this challenging economic environment? If so, we want to hear about it. AM 560's Business Tour 2017, presented by Signature Bank, will be highlighting business success stories. Tell us your story and be a part of a live broadcast of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Find out more and submit your information at 560theanswer.com/business. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
In your business, you trust people who time and time again get the job done. At Indeed.com, we deliver 5 times more hires than any other job site, according to independent research. That's why over 3 million businesses use Indeed when they're hiring, because getting the job done matters. Right now, we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job on the world's #1 job site. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Hi, Auntie Christine. Thanks for the Easter basket you sent me. It has all my favorite candies and a stuffed bunny rabbit.
Surprise the little ones in your life with personalized plush Easter baskets from Personal Creations. Each plush animal Easter basket comes filled with free candy and a free stuffed bunny, all for $19.99. Plus, you can have it personalized with any name for free. To get this special Easter deal, go to personalcreations.com. Click the orange star in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 4545. That's personalcreations.com, secret code 4545.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So it's happened again.
Dun, dun,
Another lifeless body dragged down the aisle of an airplane. This time it's Delta, and the city in question is Detroit. Now, the difference here is it wasn't an overbooking issue. It was a unruly passenger not complying with the rules issue.
Oh, was it the same kind of takedown and drag out like our guy, Dr. Dow?
No, there's
Does that
some.
sound racist? Sorry. His name's Dr. Dow.
Right, I understand. You don't have to do the judge. You don't have to do like your El
inflection?
D'Amato Judge Ito impersonation, though. When you may not want to do that. Yeah. So this was Detroit, and the woman refused to comply with boarding and baggage check procedures, and then it was time for her to get off the plane because of her refusal to comply, and she didn't want to. And
That's too bad.
and so then she had to be dragged down the aisle. I mean, I don't understand. I just no, and I just fall limp, and you move me.
I'm not gonna go.
If you want me off the plane, you drag me off the plane. But here,
All right, is there audio of it? Is there video?
there's video for
How's
sure.
the video? Would you see the midriff? Do you see a little skin, huh?
Yeah, her top rolls up a little bit,
Oh.
and when I say rolls, I mean rolls.
Stop. Now I'm going to have to look it up.
It's
because I need to see the rolls.
It's not attractive.
All right.
So is that what we're going to do now? We're going to, as passengers, we're going to provoke airport personnel and then be dragged down the aisle so that somebody can capture it on video. You can say you were humiliated, treated unfairly. You can sue. And this is just another kind of creative stick-up for deep-pocketed airlines. Is that where this is going? Because here's what she did. According to a bystander, she blew by the gate agent and didn't check in.
Oh, that's a
So
problem.
I'm boarding. I'm ready to board, so I'm boarding.
I'm not I'm not group 3 here. I'm going to go in group 1.
Well, right, and she wasn't an early boarder, and she deserved overhead bin space because that's in the Constitution.
Oh, that's right.
And so she just decided that it was time for her to get on the plane and enjoy the overhead bin space at her choosing. And the bystander also said the woman was mouthy and had a huge attitude. Oh, really? Boy, that comes as a real surprise. And so that's what happened there. You don't hear much because I guess people are so used to this that it's unremarkable when they see a body dragging down the aisle as they're waiting for the flight to take off.
464 radio, send us a car.
That's crazy shit. It's crazy. What's going on? Oh my God! Look at that woman being dragged. So that's Delta in Detroit. I don't know if that will spark a protest like occurred at O'Hare last night.
The big, huge protest. 25 people were there. They were holding signs, free Dr. Dow. No, they were holding signs that say, unfriendly Chicago skies. And they're saying that Dr. Dow was targeted because he is Vietnamese.
If we replace this with someone who was white, we question whether the same level of treatment and escalation of violence would have happened.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Would this have happened, Dan, if he was white and not Asian, like they're contending over there at O'Hare Airport? You don't even want to answer the question.
It's just so stupid.
I know, it is.
It's so dumb. You know when moral indignation has jumped the shark on any issue?
Mm-hmm.
When Calamity Jan Schakowsky and her left-wing friends weigh in.
Right now, we actually incentivize the airlines to overbook. This is about trying to make yet just another buck.
Mm-hmm. It's all about the money, not about the people. I mean, isn't that corporate America always about that?
Right, unlike government,
yeah,
which is always about the people. So this is where this is going, and so to this point, we get these saccharine op-eds like in the New York Times about corporate America. United Airlines is not alone.
Okay.
United Airlines. This is Alain Hollande. All right.
I'm sorry. Who?
Alain Hollande. She's the author of Pound Foolish, Exposing the Dark Side of the Personal Finance Industry. Ooh. Sounds scary.
Okay.
Wait, so here's her contention. See if you buy this. United Airlines found itself at the center of social media controversy this week after a horrifying video. Horrifying. A gas attack is horrifying. This guy screaming like a girl and getting his lips split is not horrifying.
And then coming back on the plane and wanting to just go home.
I have to go home. I have to go home. I have to go home. I have to go home.
What's horrifying is when you go in to see Dr. David Dow complaining of chest pains and he starts to grab your junk. That's horrifying.
True story. This is true. Shouldn't affect the litigation processes past, but it's just information that you'll only hear here on AM 560. What did he do, Dan?
Well, that's one of the things he did was kind of sexually assault patients. Mm-hmm. And then he was later indicted on 98 felony counts of illegally trafficking in painkillers.
Yeah, in 2003, he was busted in an undercover sting operation at a Louisville motel for running this fraudulent prescription outfit out of the motel room.
Bitch set him up like Marion Barry.
He's married, by the way. Wife was on the plane.
She had a couple seats behind him. Notice she didn't rally to his defense. Interesting. I wonder what one could read into that. So here's the issue, though. All too often we feel this is the New York Times op-ed I'm referring to. All too often we feel powerless, both politically and economically. So what's this got to do with United? Well, most of us don't encounter the government on a daily basis. We do, however, live life as consumers. And our treatment is both increasingly disrespectful and, here it is,
yes,
reflective of our society's growing income divide.
Oh, that's right.
It often seems the customer is the least important part of the transaction unless he or she is paying top dollar. Take medical care. The wealthy can turn to the growing practice of concierge medicine. Their personal doctor will always return their calls promptly. The rest of us are ever more likely to be relegated to a narrow insurance network. Why do you think that is, Ms. Olan? Anything to do with government intervention? No, of course not. This great economic sort is on blatant display when we fly. The airlines are seemingly forever coming up with new and innovative ways to coddle an increasingly small group while treating the majority of flyers with greater and greater contempt. The airline recently debuted United fold-out beds for business travelers, complete with mood lighting, adjustable lumbar supports, and bedding from Saks Fifth Avenue.
Nice.
But United's coach travelers are subjected to constant nickel and diming. Extra legroom is now an extra charge. So, too, for travelers in the airline's new basic economy fare class is the ability to choose one seat when booking a flight or the ability to bring more than one small personal tote or bag on the plane, and so forth. So you get the picture. The rich get all the perks and the premium treatment, and the chattel in steerage get less choice and nickel and dime to death. Is that your experience in the airlines? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, is that right? Is that what's happening? Do you feel like there's this great divide? Forget the government for a second, but with respect to our lives as consumers, and United Airlines is wrong to reward loyal customers who spend more money with the airlines, the business traveler set.
Yeah, the business traveler, some travel every day. They'll spend their whole week out on the road flying. So, yeah, sometimes it's frustrating when you watch them board the plane first, but they deserved it because that's their form of transportation. That's their home. That's their car. That's the vehicle they use to get to work. So, I don't think that there's and it stinks when you're in the back and you're eating your knees, and especially if you're tall. But you know what? If you make more money and you can spend more money, then buy that premium seat where you get yourself 6 inches of extra legroom.
Well, right. And so isn't it the point is so the airlines are trying to sell both on price and quality. So you sell on price for those that are looking for the lowest fare. That's what Southwest Airlines has done to great success.
Yeah.
And you also want to sell on quality by providing kind of premium compliments if you want to spend a little extra for a better seat, for a better meal, for more legroom, for and the pre-boarding of all of the different groups and their mileage plus programs and all that.
Now we're taking the plus gold platinum silver boarders. I mean, there's so many different categories. I can't keep it straight, but that's their business.
Well, I know it's funny, and it's just like the great fodder for stand-up comedians. But so they shouldn't treat loyal customers better to incentivize more customer loyalty? Isn't that good business practice? Or is that somehow creating this two-tiered society that this leftist drip in the New York Times is writing about? I mean, which is it, really?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Mary and Joliet, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan. Hi, Amy. So about Dr. Dow, stereotypically, Asians are of smaller stature than other populations, and I think that he was traveling with his wife and 2 kids. So, boom, there's your 4 seats. Get him in one blow. Drag him down the aisle because he fits, too. I mean, it's a simple equation.
He fits down the aisle. Thanks for the comment. He dragged him down the aisle because he fits down the aisle.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're right. That would have been better if they would have dragged Dow and then just on principle and equality of treatment also drag the rest of his family down the aisle. Even if they were going to comply. I'm sorry, Mrs. Dow. We're going to have to go ahead and drag you down the aisle.
Well, this morning, Dr. Dow is being a patient. He's at Advocate Lutheran General Hospital getting treated for a superficial wound on his face because when they dragged him off so viciously, he hit the armrest. And and his attorneys, he's lawyered up. Stephen Golan.
He fell on the armrest, as I recall.
Stephen Golan and aviation attorney Thomas Demetrio.
Corboy Demetrio.
From Corboy Demetrio.
They
are
ambulance
in on
chasers.
Yep. No, they're in on this money.
Of course they are.
Hunt. Because that's what this is. But I wonder, his past...
I wonder if it does... No, I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question. I'm asking. Does Corboy and Demetrio take payment in prescription drugs?
Stop.
Rather than a contingency fee.
That's...
I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't know. Yeah. But Mayor Emanuel has weighed in on this as well because it's kind of another black eye for Chicago, saying that what happened was unacceptable. And he commends the Department of Aviation chair for doing the right thing and suspending the officer.
Yeah, I tell you, anybody else with any residual moral indignation they want to get out. The soapbox is open, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
What's the worst thing that ever happened to you on a flight? Is anything?
Nothing.
No, because you're a law-abiding citizen.
No, I mean...
No, of course you are.
I assume this is the case for most people, and we completely over-extrapolate from these extreme cases, these rare cases. I don't know, an inconvenience here or there, a flight delay and so forth. Never really had that big of a hassle. I mean, I think there's some people that feel entitled, like that woman in Detroit on that Delta flight that had to be dragged down the aisle. And also people that are kind of like looking for drama. I don't know, looking for some excitement or meaning in their life, and so they're going to be confrontational, or they're going to try and manufacture a controversy where none exists. Yeah, the customer service isn't always the greatest, and with respect to airlines, like so many other things. But I can't recall an incident where it's risen to the level that security personnel need to be called.
Right.
I mean, not even close. I'm sure people have had terrible experiences because you've got tens of millions of people flying every day.
Like the person next to you taking their shoes and socks off. That's always fun.
Well, right, but I mean that's
just part of life.
It's part of the fact that we're not quite as civilized as we like to think we are.
No, we're not.
Brian in Hinsdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah. Hi, Dan. Hi, Amy. People forget that there's a benefit to these pricing systems, and that comes in the form of sometimes extremely cheap flights. Just as an example, my son, who goes to school in California, got a flight from LAX to Denver, flying Thursday, and for $40. Okay, I paid more in a taxi going from O'Hare, 18 minutes. So there are. You can get these super cheap flights on, any airlines. But people forget, we're flying a lot cheaper and we're saving money. Like, that wasn't possible 30 years ago. So anyways, on a funny note, I texted my son last night. I said, remember, you only paid $40 for that flight. I said, get ready to get bumped and don't get yourself in a position to get dragged down the aisle.
Right. Yeah, right. Thanks for the...
They could have somebody paying $180 and get that cheapskate off.
Yeah, there you go. So, thanks for the call, Brian. Appreciate it.
Because of this, the CEO, Oscar Munoz, they're now looking at their overbooking policy. Because at first he came out and said, what we did was he stood by what he did, and then he stood by his employees. Now the third time, because the third time's a charm, when you're releasing a statement about an incident that is so significant, now they're saying that he's horrified by what happened, and they're going to review and have set different rules for their oversold situations.
It's just so tired. I mean, it was poorly handled by United Airlines.
Yeah.
The crisis comm there was terrible. You'd think at that level, you have somebody who knows what they're doing in terms of handling a PR crisis like this. Real simple. Full mea culpa, and we're going to link into it, and then,
then you're done with it.
Just own it, and then everybody moves on. And with respect to that, what policy change? This is judgment. This is we're going to create policies to accommodate every exigency. It was bad judgment unless there's some cap on providing travel vouchers to try and elicit volunteers when your flight is oversold. The whole thing is avoided by market forces.
Well, and a lot of people are not going to. Oh, yeah.
Well, the market forces keep raising the ante until you get 4 volunteers. You find the clearing price.
And a lot of people, I don't know if you watched on social media yesterday, were cutting up their Mileage Plus cards and their Mileage Plus credit cards.
It's horrible. It's not just unfriendly skies. It's unacceptable skies. That's what they're displaying.
That was one of the protesters last night.
I'm glad I won't be flying with her. Rob and Gurney, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Yeah, just 2 comments. One, I have a real small little construction business I do. So if I purchase products from the supplier, I don't get the same price break that the guys who buy hundreds of thousands of dollars get. I get what their price is. Everybody has a different price tier. And then I just was wondering what you thought. Why do the politicians constantly weigh in on things that have nothing to do with it? You're telling me we need a law now to pass this?
Yeah, I know. Rob, just to make sure on the whole differential price thing, I want to make sure you're not suffering unjust discrimination. Are you a Vietnamese doctor from Kentucky by any chance?
No, I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm a white American from Illinois.
Okay, well then you're fine. Then it's fine. That's fine. You can get the shaft. No problem.
Yeah, but Calamity Jan jumped in on it. Congressman Lipinski jumped in on it because, now they're going to have congressional hearings and a federal investigation into what happened.
Margot in Burr Ridge, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the airline business is a little bit different from almost any business other than, say, the hotel business, because once that flight takes off, if the seat's empty, that inventory is gone. They can never resell it again.
Right.
So, what happens is they do overbook the flights because then people don't show up, and then they expect to use their ticket again on another flight, so they're taking another seat that can never be sold again. So it's a different business. It's not like a gift store where you can sell the thing you didn't sell today, you can sell it tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. And
that's
so
right.
I feel for the airline.
Yeah, and Margot, let me just ask a follow-up question to that statement. Mm-hmm. Are you suggesting, because I would be incredulous if you are, that the executives that run these airlines know more about running an airline than Jan Schakowsky?
Yes, I definitely would.
Wow.
I know more about running an airline than Jan Schakowsky because I worked with one once. But
there you go. Yeah. Thanks for the call, Margo. Appreciate that. That is an incendiary statement that you've made. Pete in New Lenox, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. I was calling about the New York Times piece saying there was basically 2 classes of people when it comes to airline flying. You've got your rich up in the nice seats up front and everybody else packed in like sardines in the back. I think that there really are possibly 2 different kinds of people. There's those that see better things and want to work hard and be able to afford them and give you a goal to strive for. And the other class wants those better things without ever having to pay for them or work hard.
Yes, there is that, isn't there? Thanks very much for the call, Pete. Dan and Amy coming to you live from RJW Group in Lockport, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Looks like it's shaping up to be a beautiful day. What are you laughing at? You got to read it.
This is a horror story from First Class. I want to read this just so you know that the well-heeled set suffers as well.
Okay.
Amby Davis's bowling ball. Just last week, I was in first class. I was offered a Sauvignon Blanc with my Kobe beef. Could you imagine? I wish someone from YouTube had been there to record it.
Oh, could they? Warm weather today and plenty of sunshine, a few high clouds, but mostly sun, a high of 61 degrees. Then tonight into tomorrow morning, we're going to have a little rain around here, followed by a shower in the afternoon, a high near 60 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Eden's outbound at Stop and Go Glenview Road to Lake Avenue. There's a crash on the right shoulder with injuries involved. 21 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound 22, heavy Skokie to Lake, and then Cicero to the junction. Inbound Kennedy, 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 22, the Eisenhower is now 45 minutes from Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 31. Stevenson, 47 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 35. Ryan is 26 minutes from 95th to the Loop. Tri-State heavy, Reagan Tollway to 290. Adams Tollway slow from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. The other tollways look good. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I've seen it in my lab. I've seen the immune response increase. I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection, and I know that it works.
Balance of Nature is providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Clarification, by the way, on David Dow, Dr. David Dow. Ethnic Chinese from Vietnam, the people we took in as refugees after the war because of the Vietnamese's antipathy towards the Chinese. So just when you're doing your racist impersonations, Amy,
yes,
I just want you to make sure the ethnic Chinese from Vietnam.
Okay.
So you may have to calibrate that a little bit.
Thanks.
No problem. Join me, that's Dan Proft, that's me, for the 10th annual Northwest Suburban Republican Lincoln Day dinner taking place a week from today, Wednesday, April 19th at the Cotillion Banquets in Palatine. Speakers include Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner, Illinois GOP Chairman Tim Schneider, and Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit lincolndd.org. That's lincolndd.org. Or be caller number, what number, Amy?
10.
Caller number 10 right now at 312-642-5600 to win a pair of tickets. 312-642-5600. Call right now to win a pair of tickets to the Northwest Suburban Republican Lincoln Day dinner next Wednesday night at the Cotillion Banquets in Palatine.
Harvey owns a building and wants to save money by making his heating and cooling system more energy efficient.
Yes.
But Harvey's afraid of the cost and if he can get a return on his investment.
I am indeed.
Plus, he's nervous about disrupting the businesses that rent space in his building. Harvey doesn't know what to do with an HVAC system that's seen better days. The Air Comfort problem solvers to the rescue. Working as a team, the Air Comfort professionals find simple solutions that make a huge impact on building efficiency and operating costs with minimal or no disruptions to building operations. HVAC upgrades and retrofits from Air Comfort can save thousands of dollars per year. They save energy, reduce maintenance, and eliminate downtime. And buildings with better energy ratings command higher rents and selling prices and make tenants happy. Get real solutions from the Air Comfort team of problem solvers. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com and start saving money today. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
Well, don't you just know, a few weeks ago, our AM 560 business tour stopped at Morcus Chocolates in Palatine. And thanks to our listeners who stopped by to say hello. That was really fun. And we learned a lot about this company from the owner, Rhonda Morcus. Her grandfather founded the company in 1920, and the samples she shared with us were amazing. And I was also intrigued to learn about Morcus Chocolates parties. That's right, they have a party room in the back at Morcus Chocolates in Palatine where you can experience the chocolate creations hands-on. Then you can take your chocolate creations home. And it's not just for kids. Think about group outings, birthday parties, office parties. I think we may even celebrate Dan Proft's birthday there. There's nowhere else like Morkes Chocolates. So go to Morkes Chocolates, MORKES Chocolates with an S.com for more information about an outing or to view their great Easter items. Or call 847-359-3454. I can't wait to go back to Morkes Chocolates, so call them at 847-359-3454 or visit MorkesChocolates.com.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. Now there's finally a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's the Transcend Mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 days. So call now, 1-800-400-9121. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. To receive your 10-day in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-400-9121. Again, that's 1-800-400-9121.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, mean. Well, we should, say a prayer for Dr. Dow. He is recovering this morning.
Yeah, from a split lip. Oh, my gosh.
Advocate Lutheran General in Park Ridge, so I'm sure they'll have a candlelight vigil out there this evening for
Congratulations to Greg from Schaumburg, who won 2 tickets to the Lincoln Day dinner next week at the Cotillion. That's nice.
Sweet. Well, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
Sean Spicer violates the Hitler rule at 6:36.
And later, a bit of hazing for the newest Supreme Court Justice, Neil Gorsuch. We'll tell you what he has to do to fit in. But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
Clear skies at 6:31. Here are the stories we're following at this hour. Investigators are questioning a person of interest in a deadly shooting of a Cook County judge on Chicago's South Side. Police believe the shooting could have happened during a robbery attempt, but right now nothing appears to have been taken from the home of Judge Raymond Miles. Russia's top diplomat accused the U.S. of conducting an unlawful attack against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's forces as he opened a meeting fraught with tension with visiting U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson.
Our meetings today come at an important moment in the relationship so that we can further clarify areas of common objectives, areas of common interest, even when our tactical approaches may be different.
Sergei Lavrov says Russia has questions about the Trump's administration's ambiguous and contradictory Middle East ideas. The Associated Press investigation of UN missions of peacekeeping over the past 12 years have found over 2,000 allegations of sexual abuse and exploitation by some peacekeepers and personnel around the world. China's president says he wants a peaceful solution to ending North Korea's nuclear weapons program. President Xi Jinping talked last night with President Donald Trump by phone. Iran's former President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad has described comments by the supreme leader of that country suggesting he not run in May's presidential election as advice. Ahmadinejad made the comments at a news conference after stunning election officials by registering for that race. A 77-year-old Washington state man is hoping an Illinois judge will help eliminate the stain on his reputation by formally declaring that he's innocent of a 7-year-old girl's kidnapping and killing in 1957. A DeKalb County judge is expected to rule today on whether to grant Jack McCullough a certificate of innocence. Indians a 2-1 10-inning win over the White Sox. After an off day, Cubs and Dodgers resume their 3-game series at Wrigley Field. The news a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, the Dual Cam Sports Action and Dash Camera is on sale for $69.99. It's the only dash cam that's also an everything else cam. And right now it's $69.99. That's Napa know-how. 6:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager sees the pressure of bigger and bigger government.
It sucks the oxygen out of civic life. It sucks the oxygen out of moral life because people in America took care of other people. In Europe, they don't take care of each other because they know the government will take care of their neighbor. It is one of the biggest moral consequences of bigger and bigger government.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you hiring? Join the over 3 million businesses that use Indeed.com for hiring. Post your next job opening on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com.
Deb, I'm so done with today. Traffic was awful. I couldn't stop for coffee. I have conference calls all morning, plus all these reports to go through. And look, it's 75 and sunny, and I'm stuck in here.
Relax. It's going to be an awesome day. Corporate is throwing a picnic in the parking lot for lunch, and they ordered Tasty Catering.
What? Did I miss the memo?
Apparently. It's going to be great. They got burgers, grilled chicken, sides, the works. You know, Tasty Catering's picnic food is excellent.
Oh, yeah, I know. We had them for our holiday party.
Today, they're bringing out the Make Your Own Burger Creation Station. They have everything you can think of, like sriracha, blue cheese crumbles, bacon, sautéed mushrooms, and caramelized onions. And they serve it straight off the grill, the way a great burger should be.
Okay, maybe there's still hope for today. I just hope I don't spill mustard on this new tie. Good thing I've got my bib.
You have a bib?
You don't?
Tasty Catering's picnic menu has all the delicious summertime food favorites you crave and more. Go to tastycatering.com to peruse mouth-watering picnic menus and start planning your picnic today. tastycatering.com.
6:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the Edens Expressway outbound, there's a truck in the ditch at Oakton on the right side, then a crash on the right shoulder at Lake Avenue. So with scattered delays, it's about 26 minutes Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound 25, so Winnetka to Lake, and then Peterson to the junction. The Kennedy is now 28 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. The Eisenhower, 46 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 31. Stevenson heavy now, 59 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37. Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State slow in pockets from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. And traffic is a service of Westin Hotels and Resorts. At Westin Hotels and Resorts, they offer running gear to their guests. Why? It's not to help you race to catch your flight. It's so you can pack less and work out more while on the road, because they know what a runaround travel can be. Westin Workout Gear Lending. Westin Let's Rise. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, a warmer day ahead. Sunshine will mix with some clouds, high 61. It will be cooler lakeside. 40 degrees at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. Picnic better with tastycatering.com.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, coming to you live from RJW Group in scenic Lockport. We have now conquered Will County. Put a flag in Will County here, and this is, of course, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. We'll talk to the president of RJW Group, which is a transportation and logistics company, at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour. But question, is it time for Spicy to go?
Bye-bye.
Is it time for Sean Spicer to be replaced as White House press secretary? And, of course, the incident yesterday is what we're talking about, but it's more after 3 months, after this kind of 90-day probationary period, if you will, do you think he is the most effective communicator for the administration? Is he good at his job? I'm not talking about being fired just for this comment that we're going to play, but do you find him to be an effective
communicator?
Effective communicator of the Trump administration's policies. Does he have the temperament? Does he have the knowledge base? Is he able to synthesize complicated issues and advance the rhetorical and market position of the administration? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. So the question yesterday was, of course, about in the press briefing was about Syria.
Right, and they asked him, well, he decided to say that, Hitler didn't use chemical weapons. He was comparing Assad to Hitler.
You look, we didn't use chemical weapons in World War II. You had someone as despicable as Hitler who didn't even sink to using chemical weapons.
And then Celia Vega from ABC7 tried to throw him a lifeline, looking at him, that millions of Jews were gassed.
I think when you come to sarin gas, he was not using the gas on his own people the same way
it gets worse.
That Assad is doing. I mean, there was clearly, I understand your point. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. There was not he brought him into to the Holocaust Center. I understand that. But I'm saying in the way that Assad used them, where he went into towns, dropped them down to innocent into the middle of towns, it was brought to it. So the use of it, and I appreciate the clarification there. That was not the intent.
Oh, so I mean, things spun out of control after that because the first rule of politics, never compare anything to Hitler, and he was factually wrong. And so he went on with Wolf Blitzer to apologize, and Wolf Blitzer flat out asked him, are you aware of the gas chambers?
Did you not know, Sean, that there were gas chambers where the Nazis brought Jews and others, gypsies, homosexuals, and others, mostly Jews, to slaughter them in these poison gas chambers at Birkenau near Auschwitz and other death camps?
Yes, clearly I'm aware of that. Again, it's as I said initially, and there's no attempt to clarify this. The point was to try to talk about the use of aircraft as a means by which Assad was using this to gas his people, but it was a mistake to do that. And again, that's why I should have just stayed on topic, stayed focused on the actions that Assad had taken and the horrible atrocities that he committed against his own people.
I think Sean Spicer is on very thin ice this morning, really. And
I'm not. The handicapping is one thing. What his future is. The question is, what should his future be? Should he retain his position? If you were the President of the United States, would Sean Spicer be your press secretary?
I don't. They asked. Wolf Blitzer asked, have you spoken with the president about what you said?
Have you spoken to President Trump about your blunder today?
Obviously, it was my blunder, as you put it correctly, and I came out to make sure that we stay focused on what the president's doing and his decisive action. I needed to make sure that I clarified and not was in any way, shape, or form any more of a distraction from the president's decisive action in Syria and the attempts that he's making to destabilize the region and root out ISIS out of Syria. So,
yeah, you get the picture. But
look. I don't want to obsess about this one comment. It was dumb. He owned up to the mistake that he made. It's so simple. Don't invoke Hitler in comparisons. Right. Period. Full stop. Ever. Particularly in that context. But just don't ever do it, and you won't have that problem. But the issue is he effective as a persuasion tool for the administration? Is he an effective communicator to explain what's happening to the American people through and over and around the D.C. press corps? Is he good at what he's doing? Is he adding value? That's my question.
Well, I don't think that he is. I think he's contentious. I think his job is to answer questions from the media, and he seems so annoyed up there every day when he has these press briefings that I don't think he's getting Trump's message across. I think he's getting across an agitated side of the Trump administration. And some people think that this is fun and they're enjoyable to watch. And I'll admit his very first press conference he ever had was enjoyable to watch. But it's getting a little old, and he's factually incorrect on a number of issues. So I think it's not boding well for the Trump administration.
Text from 608, time for Laura Ingraham. Text from 847, Spicer can't go. He's almost as entertaining to listen to as President Trump. I don't mind his combativeness with the D.C. press corps. It's not that as a posture, because that combativeness is warranted often. But I just don't find him to be a terribly good communicator.
Mm-hmm.
That's my criticism. There's nothing personal with Sean. I think he did a fine job at the RNC. I think he's earnest in his efforts as White House press secretary. I just think it's a bad fit.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Hey, I love that bit that you found the other day where they were talking to kindergarten kids, and they put in the kindergarten kids replaced the White House press corps with Sean Spicer. Remember that?
Yeah,
that
it was from The Daily Show.
Yeah, that
the
was
Daily
good.
Show actually did something that was rather humorous. Stunning, I know, true. Rick in Downers Grove, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, good, Rick.
I agree that he's not the greatest spokesperson, but when I heard that comment, my first thought wasn't gas chambers. My first thought was, like in Operation Barbarossa and on the Western Front, North Africa, he didn't use chemical weapons in battle. So I wasn't even thinking gas chambers, but everybody knows that. So I'm thinking, are we in a world of that many stupid people that they can't understand what he was talking about? They
I know.
Go like, a gas chamber. It's like, well, I didn't even make that connection at all, even though I know there was gas chambers.
Yeah.
I think we're in a world of some very stupid people now.
Well, and thanks for the call, Rick. And then there's also, of course, the gotcha disposition of the D.C. press corps with anything Trump-related, including his personnel. So there's that. But, I mean, it was an unforced error. I mean, there's just no getting around it. It was just an unforced error.
He looked really nervous last night on with Wolf Blitzer. I mean, it was almost as if he was trembling. So,
Phil in Hoffman Estates.
Good morning, guys. That previous caller is as dumb as Spicer. I mean, first of all, it wasn't the Hitler reference. It was as stupid as the comment. He might as well have said the Chicago gun violence isn't as bad as the oceanfront properties eroding in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's incredibly ignorant. Just incredibly ignorant. How the guy is still employed this morning, if someone else doesn't come out this morning, that's really stunning. And there's no way to defend the ignorance.
Well, there isn't. Thanks for the call,
and
Phil.
someone who was asking for him to be fired this morning, Barbara Streisand, Babs,
sure.
tweeted out Sean Spicer should be fired for saying Hitler did not use chemical weapons on his own people. You mean 6 million Jews don't count? That was her tweet this morning. She's very upset while she's shoving pancakes down her throat.
Babs should fire herself too. It's lovely when the ignorant chime in on the ignorance. So here, I mean, with respect to Spicer and the comments, something else too. Just taking a look around the world.
Yeah.
The story out of Chechnya that we talked about yesterday, concentration camp torturing gay people. There was a story out as well, open slave trade of West Africans in Libya. Slave trade, concentration camps, the kind of barbarism that reminds us, obviously the chemical attack in Syria, kind of barbarism that reminds us we're not as civilized as we like to think we are. The world isn't as civilized as we like to think it is, and maybe we're not as well. So just in terms of the horrors around us, and this is why the comparisons, like which involves more moral turpitude than the other, it's just a dead end to go down, and Spicer was really, dumb to do so. Mike in Sycamore, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Mike. And he's gone.
Mike didn't want to talk this morning.
Holly in Hudson, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. I think that Sean Spicer will be gone, and this will be the cover the White House uses, but I actually sense a giant shift in the way the White House is operating these days, and I think that they're becoming more reasonable, and they're seeing how to get things done more effectively, and I just don't think he represents the face of the way that Trump's White House is transitioning. It's kind of stupid. I felt sorry for him. Anybody who said something dumb, it drives home from a party and goes, God, such a nitwit, but just imagine that times a million.
Right.
But he just no longer represents the direction that this White House is changing, and I think that's a positive thing. And I want Laura Ingraham in that role.
Okay, well, you want combative then. Thanks for the call, Holly. Appreciate it.
But I think Laura Ingraham would be effective in providing and promoting Trump's message.
Text from 815, Dick Durbin resigned after his remarks about our military, right? Well, no, of course he didn't. But we had the opportunity to resign him as Illinois voters, and we didn't. So that's on us, isn't it? We're in charge of Dick Durbin. President Trump is in charge of his press secretary. See, that's the difference. And with respect to Laura Ingraham, I think it'd be difficult for Laura Ingraham to flack for positions that she doesn't hold. And that's what you have to do as press secretary. You have to represent the principle, and you have to defend policies and decisions that you may disagree with. I'm not sure if Laura Ingraham is best positioned to do that. I'm not sure she would desire to do that, frankly, because it kind of cuts against her brand. But you have seen people do that successfully, like Tony Snow for George W. Bush. I don't know. Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, good morning. I believe Spicer should be retained in that he perfectly reflects the administration and that he is, because he's ignorant, dishonest, and an utter complete liar. So as long as Trump is in the White House, Sean Spicer perfectly reflects the president's sentiments. He should be retained.
So Trump is ignorant, rude, and a liar.
Yes, Dan, that's my belief. We've got Gorsuch now. He should go off and play golf somewhere.
Okay, well, at least you can see the Gorsuch success story. That's good. Thanks for the call, Tom. Dan and Amy coming to you live from RJW Group in Lockport, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Plenty of sunshine right now, just shaping up to be a gorgeous day, a high of 61 degrees. Tonight into early hours tomorrow, we're going to have light rain here and then showers again in the afternoon, a high near 58. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. We're seeing pretty heavy delays on the outbound Edens from Montrose to Lake Avenue, where there's a crash on the right shoulder. It is 38 minutes from Montrose to Lake Cook, inbound 27. Delays start at Winnetka Road. Kennedy, 35 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 29. The Eisenhower's 52 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, 38 from Manheim, outbound 36 to Thorndale. Northbound I-55 delays start at 126. 59 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37. The Ryan is 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 23 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Mission 420. Northbound Tri-State delays, 111th to Archer, Ogden to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Donald Trump turns his attention to NAFTA. Airline ban on in-flight cell phone use to continue. U.S. job market called healthy. Those stories next. Hi, folks. Are you an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS? Are your wages being garnished? Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns and you're losing sleep at night worrying about it all? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who have helped thousands of people with problems just like yours. They're accredited with a Better Business Bureau and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. They're not intimidated by the IRS, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group. They're at 800-601-2929. 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. President Trump is promising some pleasant surprises, as he put it, in his renegotiations of the North American Free Trade Agreement. Mr. Trump told a White House meeting of business leaders NAFTA has been a disaster for decades. Delta Airlines reporting quarterly financial results, and the Treasury Department unveiling February budget numbers. The Labor Department reporting employers across the country posted more open positions in February, but the number of people actually hired fell. The numbers suggest the job market is healthy, but not surging. The chairman of the FCC says he has enough votes to kill a plan to allow in-flight cell phone calls. Chairman Ajit Pai calls the effort ill-conceived. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, how would you like to have insurance for your computer network? Something to protect your hardware and software, and more importantly, give you peace of mind. Well, using Turnkey IT for installation and support of your systems is like having insurance for your computer network. For one affordable monthly payment, your company gets a full team of certified technicians who are there for you, working in the background to ensure your systems are up and running. They'll help you over the phone and make house calls to your workplace. And Turnkey IT doesn't wait until there's an emergency call because they work hard to take preventative measures, keeping your network secure, backed up, and running nonstop. Turnkey IT can protect your network with the Turnkey experience where everything is included. Office 365 hosting, advanced network protection, cloud backup, disaster recovery, and unlimited remote and on-site support. Find out what Turnkey IT can do for your company today. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
They're here, circling over your head, and they're tracking you down. You feel overwhelmed, like you can't escape. You need a solution to get your back taxes filed, to put your life back on track. You need someone who can keep the vultures at bay and work directly with the IRS to leverage every opportunity to settle your tax debt. Mary Karpowitz, CEO of Comprehensive Tax Solutions, is licensed to represent you before the IRS. Don't let the IRS threaten you. You should never need to speak to them directly. Mary does that for you. Comprehensive Tax Solutions will help you settle your entire IRS tax debt for up to 85% off the original amount owed, including penalties and interest if you qualify. Comprehensive Tax Solutions, family-owned in Chicagoland, can be a lifesaver for you. Call 708-478-6770, 708-478-6770, or go to resolveyourtaxproblems.com. Call 708-478-6770 now.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Aument, a founding partner of the law firm of Daspin & Aument and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Daspin & Aument needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, Auntie Christine. Thanks for the Easter basket you sent me. It has all my favorite candies and a stuffed bunny rabbit. The basket even has my name on it. It's the best Easter basket ever. I miss you.
Surprise the little ones in your life with personalized Easter baskets from Personal Creations. Plush animal Easter baskets so soft and cute, your little ones will want to cuddle up with them all year long. And they're filled to the brim with free candy, a chocolate bunny, jelly beans, Peeps, and a free stuffed bunny. All for just $19.99. Plus, you can personalize it with any name for free.
Thanks, Grandma. This Easter basket is awesome. Yum!
Each basket is filled with Easter favorites and professionally personalized, all for just $19.99. And your one-of-a-kind basket is guaranteed to arrive before Easter, so there's still time to order. The only way to get this special Easter deal is to go to personalcreations.com. Click the orange star in the upper right corner and enter secret code 4040. That's personalcreations.com. Click the star and enter secret code 4040. Personalcreations.com, 4040.
Gatto Industrial Platers, Inc. is the specialist in zinc and zinc nickel plating. Gatto is big, they're good, and they're easy to work with. Their high production rack plating line has up to a 15-foot capacity to handle any zinc plating requirement. Gatto's 210,000 square foot facility can process 300 tons per day and offers complete custom packaging with available pickup and delivery in the Chicago metro area by Gatto's own fleet of trucks. All of Gatto's products are inspected and certified to ensure that each customer is receiving the best and most cost-effective plating protection. Gatto is home to King Kong, the largest zinc plating line in North America that can zinc plate parts up to 27 feet long and weighing up to 8,000 pounds. For a quote and fast 24 to 48-hour service, call George Gatto Jr. or George Gatto Sr. at 1-800-290-1223. That's 1-800-290-1223. 1-800-290-1223.
If you think trains will stop if they see a car on the tracks, you're right, they will. About a mile after they hit you. In 2015 alone, 230 people were killed at railroad crossings. Don't become the next fatality. Stop. trains can't. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
All right, guys, huddle up. Coach's car battery died and he's running behind. And since I haven't been paying attention, I have no idea what plays we run or what most of your names are for that matter. So what I'll do is I'm going to pop this antacid tablet. I'll fall down, I'll fake a heart attack, and then you guys act shocked and concerned and stuff. And hopefully that'll buy me enough time for the coach to get here. All right, team on 3.
Make sure you'll be there. Get a car battery test today. Find a location at interstatebatteries.com. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
What's the matter with Kansas? Nothing, Thomas Frank. After Estes won the special election to replace Pompeo, we'll discuss at 7:07.
And later, my friend Mark Sapelsa took a shot at my friend Dan Proft on Twitter. Whose side are you on? But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're watching right now. Police are questioning a person of interest in the shooting of a Cook County judge. Illinois tax returns will take 4 weeks or more. Brantley lists the Tribe past the White Sox in 10, and the Cubs host the Dodgers tonight. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. President Trump calling the Syrian president an animal for using chemical weapons.
Frankly, Putin is backing a person that's truly an evil person. And I think it's very bad for Russia.
His interview with Fox Business Network's Maria Bartiromo airing as Secretary of State Rex Tillerson holds tense meetings in Moscow. Fox Radio's Simon Owen is live in our European bureau.
Lisa, Secretary Tillerson holding talks with his Russian counterpart.
And I look forward to a very open, candid, frank exchange.
Acknowledging sharp differences between the U.S. and Russia. Tillerson calling on the Russians to stop supporting Syria's president following last week's chemical weapons attack. But the Kremlin calling that request absurd. And Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov telling Secretary Tillerson that the recent U.S. missile strikes in Syria were illegal. Lisa?
Thanks, Simon. The Anne Frank Center says White House spokesman Sean Spicer should be fired for inaccurately stating that even Hitler didn't stoop to using chemical weapons. It was a chemical gas he used to kill millions of Jews.
Frankly, I mistakenly used an inappropriate and insensitive reference to the Holocaust, for which there's frankly no comparison.
Spicer apologizing and expressing regret, especially, he says, during Passover week. The United Airlines CEO out with a stronger apology, calling it horrific that a man was dragged off a flight and launching an internal review.
What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
Protesters outside Chicago's O'Hare, where the incident happened Sunday, some suggesting it may have been handled differently if the man wasn't Asian.
It's really important to keep a sharp eye on this and keep the heat on not just United, but airlines and law enforcement in general.
Meantime, Dr. David Dow, who's still being treated in a Chicago hospital, has hired a lawyer. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
41 degrees, sunrise in Chicago, 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. I'm Mike Scott. Investigators continue questioning a person of interest in the deadly shooting of a Cook County judge on Chicago's South Side. Judge Raymond Miles was gunned down early Monday morning outside his home. Police believe the shooting could have happened during a robbery attempt, the FBI offering a $25,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest. Two 12-year-old boys and a man are recovering following a shooting in Chicago's Old Town neighborhood. Police say all three were shot in a drive-by yesterday. A 77-year-old Washington state man is hoping an Illinois judge will help eliminate a major stain on his reputation by formally declaring that he is innocent of the 7-year-old girl's kidnapping and killing in 1957. The DeKalb County judge is expected to rule today on whether to grant Jack McCullough a certificate of innocence. Now, getting one would also enable McCullough to sue Illinois for damages for wrongly convicting him in 2012 of Maria Ridolph's killing. Kane County Coroner's Office says two 18-year-olds found unresponsive in a car last month in St. Charles died of carbon monoxide poisoning. Flaw allowed carbon monoxide gas, according to investigators, to enter the car. There were no signs of foul play. United Airlines remains under a bit of fire after video of a passenger being dragged off a flight at O'Hare went viral. A few protesters showed up for a rally last night at the airport's Terminal 1, including Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky arriving late.
I am considering legislation that would say no involuntary removals from airplanes.
The man pulled off that flight has reportedly hired a high-powered attorney. Michael Brantley doubles home the winning run in the bottom of the 10th. Gave the Indians a 2-1 win over the White Sox in the opener of a 3-game set at the Jake in Cleveland. After a day off, Cubs and Dodgers resume their 3-game set at Wrigley tonight. It's win and in for the Bulls tonight as they host the Nets in the season finale at the UC. The news service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, the Castrol family of oil is on sale, including Castrol Synthetic for just $5.69 a quart. Keep your ride running longer, stronger. That's Napa know-how. General States pricing. Sale prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. 7:04, time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com. Providing the right climate for business since 1935. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Writing job descriptions, sifting through resumes, setting up interviews. Hiring's hard, but Indeed.com makes it easier. Post your job, manage candidates, schedule interviews, all on Indeed. And since independent research shows that Indeed delivers 5 times more hires than any other job site, easy works. Right now, we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job on the world's #1 job site. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Hi, Auntie Christine. Thanks for the Easter basket you sent me. It has all my favorite candies and a stuffed bunny rabbit.
Surprise the little ones in your life with personalized plush Easter baskets from Personal Creations. Each plush animal Easter basket comes filled with free candy and a free stuffed bunny, all for $19.99. Plus, you can have it personalized with any name for free. To get this special Easter deal, go to personalcreations.com. Click the orange star in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 4545. That's personalcreations.com, secret code 4545.
7:06, and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Eden's delays are from Lake Avenue to Old Orchard and Peterson to the Junction. It's 26 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 36 after a crash at Lake Avenue. At Kennedy runs 34 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 17 from Montrose, 14 in the Express. Outbound 15 to Montrose, 33 to the airport. The Eisenhower, it's now an hour and 2 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, 46 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 41 to Thorndale. Stevenson an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, 49 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 37 minutes to 3:55. The Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State delays are northbound, 111th to Archer, Ogden to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Adams Tollway bottled up from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Reagan Tollway from Roosevelt to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial, slow Maple to the Reagan Tollway. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Mix of sun and some clouds today, high 61. Becoming cloudy with a late night shower tonight, low 44. Little morning rain followed by an afternoon shower tomorrow with a high 58. And a shower in spots at night, low 47. Couple of showers Friday, high 67. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Sunshine and 40 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Art House Gallery. Sell your gold, diamonds, jewelry, watches, and more. Call 847-926-0700.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Wow. Good morning, Dan and Amy. Coming to you live from RJW Group. It's a transportation and logistics company, and we're happy to be here in Lockport, Illinois. This is part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
It's really an amazing facility. My head was spinning when he took us back in the warehouse and all those boxes.
500,000 square feet of warehouse space.
Yeah. It's not a small room to clean.
No, and it's a burgeoning business, so bully for them. We'll talk to the president of the company at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour. But I wanted to make mention of this because people should really check this out. Mm-hmm. We were talking about Pulitzer Prize winners yesterday after Peggy Noonan was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for commentary, that announcement. I'll tell you who deserves a Pulitzer Prize for his photojournalism over the last year is this guy named Chris Arnade. He is a former numbers geek, Wall Street operator who has spent the last year plus now on the road chronicling small-town America, talking to a lot of Trump supporters, trying to understand what's happening from their perspective through their eyes. He just did an incredible piece on Cairo, Illinois, a small town that's basically hollowed out. And this is the story of rural America, small-town America in many areas. This is the story of Hillbilly Elegy, J.D. Vance's surprise bestseller last year. And it's just Arnade, A-R-N-A-D-E is his name. You should check it out. Chris Arnade, his photojournalism is excellent, and his piece on Cairo, Illinois, and Southern Illinois this past week is really something. And it speaks to, Trump's support to a large extent. It's been cartoonishly caricatured by the media to just be small-town, rural America, lower middle income whites. That's not the sum total of it, clearly. He wouldn't have won 60% of the states if that was it. But it's a part of it. And what's happening in small-town America is an important discussion point. And it's, frankly, the basis on which Estes won the special election in Kansas to replace Mike Pompeo yesterday, which was a race held by the Republican. And so that was important, but a lot closer than a lot of people expected. Also, I want to just direct your attention to this as part of this conversation. NakedCapitalism.com has a piece about a company called Red Tire that's working with small businesses in small towns who have a difficult time extending the business if they don't have a family member that wants to take it over. They have a difficult time selling it and getting market value because of the lack of competitive opportunities and interested parties. If you run a dental practice, for example, in small-town Kansas, and this is actually the example they use. And what they do is they essentially act as a business broker in these places to make sure that businesses get maximum value for their business, but also that you find a buyer. So these important businesses in communities, like a pharmacist or a dental office, that are really important in small towns, don't just disappear and negatively impact the local economy and the quality of life there. And it's interesting. There was a new U.S. business new U.S. business creation by county population study as part of this piece in NakedCapitalism.com. Just to underscore the point, between 92 and 96, 32% of new businesses were created in counties with under 100,000 in population. Between 2010 to 2014, that dropped to 19%. 58% of all new business creation in the United States by county population occurs in counties with more than 1 million people. So, this kind of the urban concentration, big cities, big urban centers, to some extent to the exclusion of at least the same level of opportunities there used to be in smaller town, more rural America. Chris Arnade is chronicling it. Stories like Naked Capitalism tells explain some of it, and the pictures tell a really interesting story, and it's part of our politics and part of thinking about economic growth in this country. And I know this is something that Steve Moore is all over as well, as entrepreneurial capitalist and an advocate for entrepreneurial capitalism and Heritage Foundation chief economist, Steve Moore joins us now. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys. And by the way,
Hey.
I love what you were just saying. By the way, thank you. I thought you were going to say Steve Moore deserved the Pulitzer Prize, but
Yes.
I was actually
Maybe next year.
I was actually so pleased that Peggy got it. Peggy Noonan, for those who don't read Noonan's columns on Saturday in the Wall Street Journal, it is a must-read every Saturday. It's the thing I would most highly recommend. I don't always agree with Peggy, guys, but I always find her columns so insightful. And she got Trump. She got Trump before anybody else did. And I feel like, I got it too. And by the way, everything you were saying is so right, Dan and Amy. And, what's interesting is I experienced the same thing. I went out to these towns, and I could see it. You could see something that was going on in America. There is a cultural divide in this country. I'll tell you one quick story that I think really punctuates what you were just saying, Dan. One event I had to do for Trump back in October, about a month before the election. I flew into Dayton, Ohio, and I drove straight west. And for those of you who know that area, I didn't know that area of the state. It's all rural. It's all little towns, one little Mayberry RFD town after another for literally 45, 50 miles. And we drove all the way, and my driver, these little towns, they didn't even have stoplights, for goodness sakes, and a lot of them didn't even have a McDonald's or Burger King. And we're going through these little towns, one after another, and I finally said to my driver, Joey, Joey, we've been driving for 45 minutes now, and all I saw in front of every other house, Trump, 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 Trump. And it was amazing. I mean, this is Ohio, a battleground state, and the funny part of the story is we finally get, close to where we're going, and we go around, and I said, Joey, no Hillary signs. And sure enough, as soon as I said that, 4 houses down, there's a big blue Hillary sign, and I said, well, never mind, Joey, there's one. And Joey says, hey, Steve, take a closer look at that. We get closer, and it said Hillary for president. The point is that those little towns in America were Trump country. And I did think that one of the turning points in the campaign was when Hillary made the deplorable comment, because what that did was reinforce what a lot of these people in these small towns think that liberal elites think about them, which is that they are, liberal elites in Washington, in New York, in Hollywood, in Silicon Valley believe that they are more morally, culturally, and intellectually superior to these people in small town America. And you know what, guys? They're not.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the interesting thing now. So where are the outliers? Because the Democrat Party in the nation is a super minority party, and even though they came close in Kansas, they still didn't get it done yesterday, and Georgia next week, we'll see. But the Democrat Party super minority.
Let me make one other quick point about this, is that when I would go to a lot of these small towns, because what you said is really important. I mean, this is what's going on in America. When I would go to these small towns, and whether it would be York, Pennsylvania, or Flint, Michigan, or some of these little rural towns, and I say, how's the recovery going? How's the Obama recovery going for you? You know what they do? They go, what recovery? What are you talking about? There's no Obama recovery. We haven't seen more jobs. We haven't seen more factories. We've seen more of them leaving. And so there was, this big disconnect between, what was going on in some of these areas like Washington, D.C., which is booming, and these other areas that didn't see any recovery at all.
Well, but there's still a wall to crack, and we're kind of base camp for it in Chicago, which is in these big urban centers that are seeing most of the new business creation, as I just mentioned, those numbers, and the outlying suburban metropolitan area. Yep. You have a small group of people, maybe a few 100,000 in the city center, and then suburbanites in the collar counties, and you're familiar with Illinois. You're from Illinois, so you know what I'm talking about here. These suburbanites in collar counties that identify with the urban elites in the city center, they are the ones that are the bulwark against the revolution in places like Illinois or California or New York.
Well, you're exactly right about that. And the other thing that I think is interesting about the Democratic Party has some real soul-searching to do. I mean, if this is really going to be a party led by people like Elizabeth Warren and people like that, and Charles Schumer, those are people who do have contempt for small-town America. And the problem is the Democrats pretend like they believe they're the party of the working class. but they've abandoned the working class. I mean, I've told you guys this before, but it's worth repeating. You know, we would go to these coal towns in America. These are working class towns, ladies and gentlemen, and it's the wacko green movement that put all these people out of their jobs. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought you said you cared about working class people, but you care more about, the ocean may rise by 1/4 of an inch over the next 100 years, so every coal miner has to lose their job. I was on CNN the other day against this guy, Jeff Sachs, who's a big liberal economist, and he was talking about how horrible the new Trump regulations are on bringing these coal jobs back. And I said, look, you liberals are so typical. You say you care so much about global warming. I wonder how much you care about it to people who are going to lose their jobs. Weren't these coal miners, but all these liberal professors.
Right. Yeah, right.
But I think things have changed. I mean, when I was growing up, all the Democrats were the working class. Now I think that, especially in the city of Chicago, all the Republicans are the working class, and the rich and the elite are all Democrats. Have you noticed that in other towns too?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of an overgeneralization, but it's turning out to be more and more true. I mean, if you just look at the demographics, I'll give you an example. Green Bay, Wisconsin. I know it's Chicago sometimes we don't like Green Bay, but, Green Bay is the prototypical working-class American town. It's been like that for 100 years. It was a meatpacker town, and, it is working class. And you look at what happened in Green Bay, it's indicative of what happened in the country. In 2012, Mitt Romney won in Green Bay, Wisconsin by 1%. So it was virtually a toss-up between Obama and Romney. If you look at what happened in 2016, hold on to your hats, guys. This district that had been basically a tie 4 years earlier, it went for Trump by 19 points. And that was the kind of turnaround in this country. And by the way, Steve Bannon, whether you love or hate him, Steve Bannon is really the guy who masterminded this whole thing. He saw it out there. He said, look, we have to be a party of not just conservatives, but populists. These people out here who've been left behind by liberal policies and are feeling the brunt of the negative effects of these. And he was right. And, you saw a massive switch. The Democratic Party today, ladies and gentlemen, is not a party that cares about the working class. It is a party that cares about rich millionaire and billionaire elites.
Well, and then so Trump needs to deliver for those families and those communities, and I worry that part of what he's going to do to try and deliver is to do government directed economic activity, like you see in Illinois, where things are so desperate in central and southern Illinois that they want the prison in their backyard because it means jobs. That's not the way to have a dynamic, robust economy. And so Trump needs to deliver, and he needs to deliver post-haste.
You are absolutely right about that, and he understands that. Bannon certainly understands that. He has got to deliver for those, states like, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and those areas of Illinois that were him. And he's got to, prove that he can bring economic development back to those places. And by the way, I believe he can. I mean, overturning the Clean Power Plant bill will bring back coal jobs. I mean, it's amazing. I'm writing a column on this right now. All the liberals, oh, no, these jobs are never coming back. Coal jobs are never coming back. If you looked at, I looked at the latest jobs report. This has not been reported yet, so I'm giving you a headline here. Since Trump was elected, the number of mining jobs in the United States has increased by 40,000. 40,000. That's a big, and that didn't just happen by accident. That happened because the coal miners coal companies are like, we're back. We can actually now expand. We're not going to have a president of the United States like Barack Obama who stuck a blade right through our shoulders and killed all these jobs. So it can happen, and it has to happen if Trump is going to get reelected. He's got to deliver for these people. And so, when I go to those places now and I ask people, how do you think Donald Trump is doing? They love him. They love him.
All right. He is Steve Moore, Chief Economist for the Heritage Foundation. Steve, always a pleasure. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah. Have a great week, guys. Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Today, plenty of sunshine, a high of 61, and tonight into tomorrow morning, we're going to have some rain, followed by a shower also in the afternoon, a high near 60. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Jim Telemonte.
Amy, the Edens is very heavy outbound after a crash at Lake Avenue. 39 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound 22 minutes. Kennedy, 35 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 34. The Eisenhower, an hour. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 52 minutes now. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes. 3:55 to the drive, outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, we see scattered delays, Southwest Highway to 47th, and jam from the Cermak Toll to North Avenue. Veterans Memorials, those 75th to the Reagan Tollway, and Finley to St. Charles. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, if you're looking for a dog bed that you can wash and dry at home, then you should go to MyPillow.com. They have amazing dog beds. I know that Bunky absolutely love hers, and they also have those amazing pillows. Yes, I couldn't live without MyPillow. It conforms to your neck and back to give you the support you need where you need it most. And again, that pillow is washable and dryable, a 10-year warranty, a 6-day money-back guarantee. Really, you have nothing to lose. And right now, if you get a MyPillow in the month of April, you can get 40% off the 4-pack. The 4-pack is a Mike Lindell special. You know, he's the creator. It's 2 premium pillows and 2 go anywhere MyPillows, all for the price of 1. So go to MyPillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y, in the promo code, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201 and use the promo code Amy.
Your credit card companies love you. They love it when your cards stay maxed out. They love it when you only make minimum payments. They love it when you struggle. Why? Because they own you. And minimum payments mean maximum profits. Here's great news. National Debt Relief is now offering you free information on how to escape your credit card debt nightmare. If you owe more than $10,000 in credit card debt and are only barely making minimum payments, know this: you may not have to pay it all back. In fact, you may have the right to settle that debt for only a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has helped thousands of people get rid of over $500 million of debt, and they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Get the information you need for free right now before this offer goes away. Call National Debt Relief now and escape your credit card debt troubles. 800-691-2148. 800-691-2148. 800-691-2148.
You need to switch your cell phone service to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile was founded to support conservative causes while providing the same great nationwide cell phone coverage that you're already used to enjoying. Patriot Mobile allows you to donate up to 5% of your monthly bill to the conservative organization of your choice at no extra cost to you. Do what I'm doing. Do like me. Switch to Patriot Mobile and support the conservative agenda. Switch today and get a free iPhone with a $50 unlimited talk, text, and data plan, or a free Galaxy phone with a $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan. They will also buy out your current contract up to $500 per line. There's no catch. Call 800-A-PATRIOT, and Patriot Mobile will even waive your activation fee with promo code Joe. Or go to patriotmobile.com/Joe.
I own a fast food restaurant that was broken into early this morning. They tore the alarm panel right off the wall, and Alarm Detection Systems came in the same day to replace it.
Same-day service is available to all of our customers. Never worry about your security system. Get to know Alarm Detection Systems. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
I'm living alone for the first time in 40 years, and I'm worried something might happen to me.
Live independently with a medical alert device from Alarm Detection Systems. Setup is easy, and 24/7 emergency assistance monitoring is included. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
No
someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so...
what's going on between you and my other boyfriend, Mark Sapelsa?
Yeah, these left-wing weenies in Chicago Press Corps. So it's been interesting because I've been, targeted by Eric Zorn, and then the Ellsworth Toohey of the Chicago Press Corps, Michael Miner over at the Chicago Reader.
So who's picking on Profty now?
Yes, there's a paper called the Chicago Reader. Yeah, he picked up on it, and you get just kind of all kinds of the groupthink participants from the Chicago Press Corps lodging the same criticism because they're losing, and they don't like it. And they don't want participation in news reporting from people that don't share their worldview. And that's what this is about. So Mark Sapelsa tweets yesterday. He's having this conversation on Twitter with Alderman Brendan Riley. He's the perpetually drunk 42nd Ward alderman that you can find at
Boss Bar. Yeah. What time?
About 4.5 hours. He'll be at Boss Bar, too, if you want to buy him around. So he tweets to Riley, Alderman comment, Dan is busy buying up country newspapers and having their quote-unquote reporters quote him and only him on major issues. Well, and so I tweeted back to Mark Sapelsa, hey, girl drink drunk, because, he's a girl drink drunk. Well, he is.
Well, he's knew he had a problem with alcohol, and he did something about it. But, so he drank fruity drinks. So what?
Right. He had to go to rehab to wean himself off Mai Tais with crazy straws. Oh, okay. And then he, reads a teleprompter for a living. So
he's actually a reporter. He is.
Yeah, I know.
He reports.
No, he tries to. I know, it's cute.
No, he does. He was one of the few anchors that I've worked with who actually went out on the streets.
Oh no, I know. He goes to get Tom Ahern, a quote from Tom Ahern about gun control, and they call that reporting. I got it. Hey, girl, drink drunk. Is Riley buying you rounds again? What country papers am I buying up? So I've got 20 outlets around the state, community newspapers that are focused on the different regions of the state. But it's interesting. There's a couple of things there. Country newspapers. The outlets that I have, number one, I started. I didn't buy them up. So he's a great reporter. Number two, the ones that are getting the most attention are the suburban papers. But here's the mentality. If it's not the Chicago Press Corps, if it's not parroting the orthodoxy, then they're country newspapers. And by the way, country, rural Illinois, even suburban Illinois, they're dismissive of you. Do you get it? So when you tune in to the GN Morning Show or you watch GN News and you think, oh, this is so fun, and I really like the way Mark Sapelsa reads a teleprompter. And so I'm going to watch him read the teleprompter as opposed to somebody else at some other channel read the same news story on the same teleprompter. Just understand the level of disdain they have for you if you didn't understand it before. And, oh, by the way, since he's such a good reporter, as you mentioned, Amy, I invited him to go to the website where all my titles are listed, links to all of the outlets, and go through the tens of thousands of stories we've done just in the last 10 months. And please give me either the gross number or the percentage of stories where my name is even mentioned, much less am I quoted on major issues. The other thing that they don't do, what we've done on the show talking about where we've caught Mark Giangreco and had him suspended for violating editorial policy at ABC, or we've done these property tax exposés, or we've done pension exposés. They never want to comment on the substance of the work. So when the facts aren't with you, you attack your opponent. That's what Mark Sapelsa is serving as a handmaiden for, those who don't have the facts with them and are in positions of power in Chicago and Illinois, who've destroyed the state, and so they attack their opponent because they can't deal on the merits of property taxation or unfunded pension liabilities or public sector salaries or any of the other substantive topics we talk about on this show every day and I cover in my papers every week.
All right. Today, we'd like to thank Tara Stanley for listening to AM 560 The Answer. Tara Stanley, thanks for making Chicago's Morning Answer and AM 560 part of your day. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk to the leader of RJW Transport, where we are situated today, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour, Kevin Williamson, at 7:37.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
42 degrees. We have sunny skies. President Trump contends last week's strike on a Syrian airbase would not have been necessary if former President Barack Obama had enforced his red line in Syria.
What I did should have been done by the Obama administration a long time before I did it. And you would have had a much better, I think Syria would be a lot better off right now than it has been.
But he also tells Fox Business News host Maria Bartiromo that he will not be sending U.S. troops into Syria. A Maryland senator blasting White House spokesman Sean Spicer for his comments about Syrian President Bashar al-Assad yesterday. Spicer telling a briefing even Hitler didn't, quote, sink to using chemical weapons, end quote. Ben Cardin, who is Jewish, tweeted that someone needs to get Spicer a refresher history course. The Trump administration is ending the hiring freeze that the president imposed on Inauguration Day.
We're done with the across-the-board hiring freeze today. We're now transitioning into the smarter, more surgical plans of running the government.
Budget Director Nick Mulvaney says lifting the freeze doesn't mean agencies will begin a hiring surge. Republican Ron Estes, a Kansas congressman, after easily winning a special election, taking over the seat from the one vacated by Mike Pompeo, who now serves as President Trump's CIA director. Investigators are questioning a person of interest in a deadly shooting of a Cook County judge on Chicago's South Side. Judge Raymond Miles was gunned down early Monday. The FBI continues to offer a $25,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest. Slow down those big plans to spend your Illinois tax refund. State's Department of Revenue yesterday said it will take 4 weeks to process your return. By the way, tax day this year is April 18. And John Wilkes Booth is no longer part of the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Museum. Spokesman yesterday said the museum's new director decided the Booth statue was inappropriate. The Booth statue was a feature from the first day of the museum. He used to stand far behind President Lincoln in the museum's main gallery. Some visitors say it's ridiculous to get rid of the Booth statue. Indians, a 2-1 winner over the White Sox in 10 innings. Cubs and Dodgers resume their 3-game set at Wrigley tonight. The news service of Napa Auto Parts. It's getting cold out there, and when it gets cold, your ride can suffer. Head down to your local Napa Auto Parts store where they can have antifreeze, washer fluid, and ice scrapers ready and on hand so you can make it through this cold spell this morning with ease. Keep your ride running longer, stronger. That's Napa Know-How. 7:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Start your day on the right track and take Metra. Metra's 95% on-time dependability helps you get where you're going on time, no matter what's happening on the roads. Visit metrorail.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It worked for me. I need it in the afternoon. I wear down. I'm 84. And in the afternoon, I sort of slow down. I take my Balance of Nature, and it picks me right up.
Knowing that I'm getting my fruits and vegetables, I feel better.
I have a blood disease, but I've been taking this, and I really don't bleed as much as I used to either. That in itself, to me, is a miracle. I will continue to buy Balance of Nature. The best thing that Dr. Howard ever did was make these pills.
Balance of Nature is celebrating its 20th anniversary by providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
7:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Like westbound 8094 is stop and go from I-65 to Burr. There's ongoing road work. The Edens is 22 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 50 with a crash on the right side at Lake Avenue. Kennedy crash inbound at the Hubbard Tunnel is now 57 minutes. O'Hare to downtown much quicker in the Express outbound 50 minutes. The Eisenhower an hour. Thorndale to downtown outbound 52 minutes. Stevenson an hour and 6 minutes. 3:55 to the drive outbound 40 minutes. Ryan is 25 minutes. 95th to downtown. Traffic is a service of Westin Hotels and Resorts. At Westin Hotels and Resorts, they offer running gear to their guests. Why? It's not to help you race to catch your flight. It's so you can pack less and work out more while on the road, because they know what a runaround travel can be. West Out workout gear lending. West and Let's Rise. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Warmer day ahead. Sunshine will mix with clouds. 61 in the western suburbs. Cooler than that along the lakeshore. 44 overnight with a shower as we head toward first light tomorrow morning, and then a rain throughout the day tomorrow, high 58. Currently 41 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from RJW Group in Lockport, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour. And
Quiet down, everybody.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Really.
Keep it down. Trying to conduct some
Respectable
business here.
business.
Yeah.
Come on.
RJW Transportation Logistics Company. We're pleased to be joined by the president and CEO of RJW. He is Kevin Williamson, not Kevin Williamson of National Review. Different
Yes,
Kevin Williamson.
different Kevin Williamson.
Kevin
but
Williamson.
you two are cut from the same cloth. You're both from Wheaton. You're both good people, maybe?
Nah, I don't know.
Cut from-
Well,
Did you play
so
basketball?
Jury's still out
Kevin?
on Williamson.
I attempted to play.
See?
But
Did you?
not too well.
Wheaton Christian. Yeah,
Yep.
he's Wheaton Christian. Not St. Mike's, not Bennett Academy. So we got a little bit of a Catholic Christian tension here, Catholic evangelical tension here.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well,
this is
my daughters go to Catholic, so
oh, very
Oh,
good.
there you
Well,
go.
see,
So you
saw the
redeemed
light.
yourself.
Yeah.
Providence and Loyola.
Oh,
there
very
we
nice.
go.
Oh,
Hello, Tiffany. Hello, Taylor.
There
Hi,
you go.
Hello,
Tiffany
Tara.
Taylor.
Tara, my wife. Love you.
very Providence. So well, that's good. All right. Well, so he's been brought back.
See, yes.
All right, very good.
There's
well,
redemption in this Holy Week.
congratulations. You
Thank you.
now have the opportunity to go to heaven. No, this is, of course, an interfaith group here, of
Yes,
course.
of
Well, Kevin Williamson, thanks so much for hosting us. This is really an incredible space, and I know this is just one of a few incredible spaces you have around the Chicago metropolitan area. Your transportation logistics business is booming. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we've got 4 different spaces in the Chicago market, just over 1.2 million square feet. And really the bulk of our growth has come recently when we added our retail services division. And what that is basically we have multiple suppliers that we bring in their goods into our warehouse, Honeys, Slim Fast, chips, olive oils, every category, and all the big box retailers.
So what do you do once the product arrives here at this
I could use some of that
location?
Slim Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get ready
Our-
for
Takeout, yeah.
Dominican.
Our biggest people that we supply are Walmart. That's about half of the suppliers that we supply to, but we also supply to 50 other retailers that order on demand for us. So we get a copy of the order from Walmart. We verify those copies with our customers, and we make it easy for the customers to increase their fill rates to make sure that they have goods on the store, so that when the people go to the stores, they have the goods to purchase.
And I mean the number of the amount of, I guess, square footage you have in Chicago Metro says something about Chicago as the Midwestern transportation hub. It makes sense to be here for a big logistics concern.
Absolutely. We're servicing 42 DCs across the country every week, 420 truckloads a week to Walmart alone, and we get those all the way to California, down to Florida, and everywhere. And Chicago is centrally located where we can bring things in internationally and domestically. As long as we have the inventory, we fill the shelves, and customers don't have to worry about any types of fill rates or fines from deliveries that those big box retailers implement on them.
Really? So with RJW Group, you literally can move anything, anywhere throughout the country.
Throughout the world.
Throughout the world.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit, because we were talking offline about the growth trajectory of your business and what's driving it.
Well, I took over about 7 years ago, and we took revenues from $27 million to well over $100 million today.
Wow.
Our growth is fantastic because of the technology that we have and the way that we can service the big box retailers for our clients, where they don't have to worry about supply chain whatsoever. They worry about marketing and getting their brands out there for the customers to find out about them.
And you have an employee hiring surge going on right now. How many
Yeah,
people are you looking for?
Again, 7 years, we went from 40 employees to over 450. We're currently looking for over 60 employees, both lower level supervisors, managers, and we're always hiring. So that's something that we've got to continue to do as we grow and as we expand. We expect to add on another 1 million square feet in 2018.
Is that going to be in Illinois as well, or?
That's the big question. We've got invited out to Indiana, into the northwest Indiana area, and they send us some great proposals. They're really going after us. That's an additional 400 jobs that I can bring to Illinois, Wisconsin, or Indiana.
Well, and so, I mean, I think this is interesting for people to understand the calculations that an executive makes in terms of an expansion decision and location of that expansion. So whatever insight you can provide in terms of how you're thinking about that important decision.
Well, tax benefit, for sure. You know, in this building alone, we're paying over $1 square feet in taxes. That's $600,000 a year, $50,000 a month. In Indiana, not so much. Workers' comp, you know, almost double. And there are workforce in northwest Indiana. The money I save on taxes, I can give to my employees.
Well, how much do you think you could save on taxes if you built your next warehouse in Indiana as opposed to Illinois?
Minimum $600,000 a year.
Oh.
Minimum.
I mean, that's like it's almost a no-brainer. I mean,
yep.
Unless you're that devoted and loyal to the state of Illinois, or do you think you can find better workforce?
Well, I think the workforce. You know, we did some studies on populations around that, and the workforce is there. A lot of Northwest Indianers are coming across the border to work in Illinois. If I can entice them to stay in Indiana and redevelop places like Gary, Indiana, and bring jobs to Gary, Indiana.
That would be.
I mean, it would be the next Detroit story.
Is anybody in Illinois trying to keep you here or wanting to have you expand your business here?
Not
Anyone
whatsoever.
knocking on your door?
Nope.
Yeah. No courting.
We've been flying under the radar, which I like, up until this.
Yeah, right.
They're watching you now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we treat people like you as people with the ability to pay in Illinois. That's how we look at employers. So, which is why we have fewer and fewer of them.
Yep.
Well, the other thing that's happening, too, I mean, thinking about Northwest Indiana, is the number of people who've left places like Will County to go to Indiana, too. So the workforce that was a Chicago workforce now is partly an Indiana workforce.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking to expand, and we're going to continue to expand. We don't anticipate to slow down. The growth that we have and the trajectories that we have and the proposals and contracts that are coming in are incredible. So we are, this building alone, 500,000 square feet, we've filled within 6 months.
Let's talk about the search for filling that many jobs and what the response is as you are out looking for qualified candidates, because, you know, we hear 4.5% unemployment rate nationally, a little bit higher than that in Illinois. Don't really know what that number means anymore, and I just wonder what kind of response you're getting for the openings that you have.
We're continuing to learn on how to recruit at that level. We've partnered with a couple different agencies to help us out as we learn to recruit on this type of growth that we've seen. This last year alone, we probably grew over 40% and hired over 150 employees. This year, I mean, sky's the limit. 150, 200 people we have to hire.
It's crazy because just as we're talking, I'm getting text message. I want to be one of his supervisors. I have experience in this, so I'm going to give you a very good man's name after
signed
this.
Amy Jacobs.
No.
I'll get an email out by the end of the show on where to send your resumes.
Yeah,
to.
that's what I was going to ask you. Can you share it with us now? Because I know people are listening.
Going to have to talk to HR.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Rapid growth. I'm not in every department.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's a downtown problem, but managing that kind of growth is a challenge, I suspect.
Yeah, I mean, it is challenging, but I think with the technology that we developed at the front of this program, the scalability for us to grow at massive proportions is easy. I just need the labor.
And this is a family business, right?
Yes, I took over from my father, who retired 7 years ago. and he's down in Fort Myers. Hello, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Mom.
I wish I was down.
And we wish, sorry.
So the inflection point. So this has been a going concern for a long time, but then the explosive growth in the last half a dozen years. What kind of another one of these business stories. Here's the big decision we made that opened the door to explosive growth. What was it?
Sales, and actually giving things a shot. So if I look to invest in another company within my company, I look how much is it going to cost and what's my ROI. Good example is our co-packing division, which I started in 2016. 0 revenue to over $3 million in just that short amount of time. It also gave a solution to the customers that are in our building so that we can do repacks, create end-store displays that are called PDQs, and just the notion to give it a shot and try something new and reinvent yourself on a consistent basis, embrace change is super important in hiring smarter people around you to make up for your deficiencies. So I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but we've got an awesome team.
Wow. And I know a lot of people now that want to join your team.
Yeah. And
it's good.
Amy's too shy to ask, but is it okay if she drives the forklift around the back?
No.
Okay, right.
Or the golf cart.
It's
really an impressive space. I walked back there. It took my breath away because
it'd be different if this wasn't a litigation hellhole and the workers' comp costs were structured a little bit differently, Amy. So I apologize. I understand, Kevin.
You have to get certified.
Absolutely. Sure. Well, you got.
I've had
CDL.
time. Yeah. Okay.
You got time. You have some in-house training that you could take.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to be the next hour. I'm going to be training in the back warehouse to
I've got
operate
too much good going on right now.
Yeah, right. I understand. She'd be popular on the floor, but I think less work would get done. He is Kevin Williamson, Wheaton Christian / Wheaton Academy's finest. President, CEO of RJW Group. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on your success, and we appreciate you hosting us.
Appreciate it.
Andy, thank you.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today it's going to be warm, plenty of sunshine, just a gorgeous day, a high of 61 tonight. Into tomorrow morning, we're going to have a little rain, and then tomorrow afternoon, another shower is going to plow through here and a high of 58 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Any traffic tie-ups, Jim Telemonte?
Yes, Amy, the outbound Eden is still very heavy. Montrose to Lake Avenue with a crash still blocking the right shoulder. It's 48 minutes. Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound just 21 minutes. Kennedy. Now all snarled. Austin to the Hubbard Tunnel with a crash in the 2 right lanes. It is an hour from O'Hare to downtown, outbound 50 minutes. The Eisenhower, 58 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound an hour and 3 minutes. Some delays on the extension as well. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 46 minutes. Ryan is 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound tri-state delays are in pockets from Southwest Highway to 47th, and it's really heavy from the Cermak Toll to North Avenue. Adams Tollway, slow Manheim to the tri-state. Reagan Tollway, 31 to Raymond, 53 to 355. Veterans Memorial, stop and go, I-55 most of the way to past Roosevelt. And westbound 8094 has delays central to Burr. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Art House Gallery, they are back in Chicago. So if you have any jewelry, jewelry, gold, other items that you would like to get cash for, then you should call this number, 847-926-0700, 847-926-0700. Calling this number can bring thousands of extra dollars right to your wallet. Again, they are looking for paintings, porcelain, Fabergé, maybe high-end pocket or wristwatches, Rolexes, Cartier, Tiffany, or Breitling. So if you have any of those items and you want cash in your hand right now, call the Art House Gallery right now at 847-926-0700. They can come to your house. You can meet them at their office in Highland Park, or they can meet you at your bank, anywhere you feel comfortable. 847-926-0700, or go online at the ChicagoArthouseGallery.com. That's ChicagoArthouseGallery.com.
How would you like to lose 10, 15, even 25 pounds in the next 30 days? Well, I'm about to tell you how you can do it for free right now. You've probably heard of Beachbody or seen their workout DVDs on TV, like P90X, Insanity, and 21 Day Fix. Well, they just launched a beta trial of their new online video service called Beachbody On Demand, and they're inviting you to use it for free for 30 days. Now, here's the catch. In return, all they want is for you to let them know what you think of their new on-demand service so they can make it the best fitness and weight loss site ever created. Just text the word STREAM to 303030 and you can do 30 days of P90X, Insanity, Brazil Butt Lift, or one of 500 other Beachbody workouts for free. And that means you can lose 10, 20, even 30 pounds without paying a dime. Just text STREAM to 303030. That's STREAM to 303030 to get started for free right now.
Message and data rates may apply. Membership fees apply after 30-day free trial. Cancel anytime.
Night Sphere is a live music event that blends Chicagoland superstar performers up with upcoming artists in a grand platform. Acts like Buddy Guy's All-Stars, Mr. Blotto, and Chris Medina of American Idol. It takes place Thursday, April 20th at the Arcadia Theater in St. Charles. Enjoy an evening of music and know that you're contributing to a good cause. Proceeds from the show will benefit the Veteran Network Committee of Illinois. Over 20 former pro athletes are also expected to attend. For more information, visit 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword concert. And right now, win tickets by being caller number 10 to 312-642-5600. Good luck.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. You better hope a river doesn't run through it, your property that is, because that river may soon have the same property rights as you, which is to say none. In India and New Zealand, radical environmentalists have succeeded in getting rivers conferred the same legal status as human beings. If PETA and the Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund can figure a way to get such cases to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, they may be in business. Remember, we're talking about people who believe there is no difference between the enslavement of blacks in America and the captivity of orca whales at SeaWorld. The moral of the story for sapient beings, particularly surrender center-rightists, is that appeasement of leftists doesn't satiate them. It only increases their collective appetite. When the left removed the right to life of the unborn, many on the center-right went along with the woman's body, woman's choice redefinition cover story. When the left removed a child's natural right to his mother and father through the redefinition of marriage, many on the center-right went along with the marriage equality cover story. Life redefined, check. Family redefined, check. All that's left for the left in terms of undermining the foundations of a free society is private property rights. Checkmate.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
5 times more hires are made through Indeed.com than any other job site, according to independent research. Imagine a lottery that had 5 times more winners, or a Sunday with 5 times more touchdowns. When you're hiring, it makes 5 times more sense to use Indeed. Right now, we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job on the world's #1 job site. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Want to know the secret that all those house flipping gurus won't tell you? Flipping multi-unit properties is easier and more profitable than flipping single-family homes. With over 17 years of experience, we here at RE Mentor will show you the art of buying and selling multi-unit properties. Come spend the afternoon or evening with our team of experts, and we will show you how to put $10,000 to $30,000 in your pocket over the next 90 days. This 2-hour class will teach you the art of the multi-unit flip. You'll learn how to buy, hold, and sell multi-unit properties with no money down, no credit, and no risk. You risk nothing but have everything to gain. This intensive 2-hour real estate class is coming to the Chicago area soon. Call 1-800-805-1859 to secure your seat. This seminar is free to the first 30 people that call. Change your life now and learn the art of the multi-unit flip or long-term hold. Call 1-800-805-1859.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, and if some of you are looking for a job, here's the website to apply for the RJW Group. It's www.rjwgroup.com.
Amy, I see your G5 pulling up on 355 to squire you away to some far-flung destination.
Yes, spring break starts early, that's for sure. I'm going to be heading to Tucson to hang out with my kids, Peyton and Eli.
Send us a postcard.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk Syria at 8:08.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're following, including police questioning a person of interest in the shooting of a Cook County judge. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. A plan to attack U.S. and British embassies is broken up. That announcement just made by security officials in Nigeria. Fox Radio's Jessica Gallagher with more live.
Lisa, ISIS-linked Boko Haram members had planned to hit the embassies of the U.S. and Britain, but those plans were thwarted by security officials. In a statement, the Department of State Services saying that in late March, it broke up a ring that had perfected plans to attack both embassies in addition to Western interests in the capital of Abuja. 5 suspects have been arrested. Nigeria's president had declared Boko Haram crushed in Nigeria. This as fighters continue to launch sporadic attacks using children, especially girls, as suicide bombers. Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. Prosecutors in Germany say 2 Islamic extremists are the focus after the bus carrying a top German soccer team was bombed on its way to a game. 1 player was injured, 1 possible suspect detained. Investigators say there was more than 1 device containing metal pins. They're not sure yet how they were detonated. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson meeting in Moscow with Russia's foreign minister and saying he'll work to narrow sharp differences over Syria. Tillerson and President Trump defending the missile strike on a Syrian base after a chemical weapons attack blamed on the Syrian regime.
What I did should have been done by the Obama administration a long time before I did it. And you would have had a much better, I think Syria would be a lot better off right now than it has been.
President Trump telling Fox Business Network's Maria Bartiromo the Syrian leader is evil and an animal, and that President Putin's continued support for him is bad for Russia. Meantime, the Russian top diplomat calling the U.S. missile strike illegal. Iran's former president, Ahmadinejad, registers to run for president again, and he's dismissing comments made by the supreme leader suggesting he not run as just advice. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
42 degrees, sunny skies. 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Investigators continue questioning a person of interest in the deadly shooting of a Cook County judge on Chicago's South Side. Judge Raymond Miles was gunned down Monday outside of his home after confronting a suspect who had already shot his girlfriend. A 77-year-old Washington state man is hoping an Illinois judge will help eliminate a stain on his reputation by formally declaring that he is innocent of a 7-year-old girl's kidnapping and killing in 1957. A DeKalb County judge is expected to rule today on whether to grant Jack McCullough a certificate of innocence. Getting that certificate would also enable McCullough to sue the state for damages for wrongly convicting him in 2012 of Maria Ridulph's killing. Mayor Emanuel meeting with President Trump's Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, a week after the president took a verbal swipe at Chicago schools. AM 560's David Stewart reports.
In White House comments last week, President Trump called the performance numbers for Chicago public schools, quote, rough. Mayor Emanuel said then that he'd bring evidence to Washington to show that the city's academic performance is improving dramatically.
Now, the President of the United States is allowed to have fake news, but the facts are the facts about the city of Chicago.
Emanuel will meet with Education Secretary DeVos and present studies by the University of Chicago that detail the gains among CPS students. Emanuel will also push for additional federal help for Chicago schools. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Indians a 2-1 winner over the White Sox in the opener of a 3-game set in Cleveland. Cubs and Dodgers resume their 3-game set at Wrigley tonight. And it is winning in for the Bulls tonight in regards to the playoffs as they host the Nets in the season finale at the UC. The news, a service of Westin Hotels and Resorts, where they offer running gear to their guests. Why? Well, at Westin, it's not to help you race to catch your next flight. It's so you can pack less and work out more while on the road, because they know what a runaround travel can be. Westin Workout Gear Lending. Westin, let's rise. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network. Here is Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Volkswagen wants to win back your confidence. It's offering 6-year, 72,000-mile warranties on its 2018 Atlas and Tiguan sport utility vehicles. VW says the warranty will be the longest in the United States. VW has been dealing with fallout from its diesel emissions scandal in the U.S. and around the world. Walmart is stepping up its online program to compete with Amazon.com. It's offering pickup discount and will give you a discount if you order online and pick up your purchases at your local Walmart. The parent company of Tony Roma's and Butcher's Prime is selling its business to lunch meat and sausage company Carl Budding & Company for $26 million. The barbecue ribs company Rupari Foods sought Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection this week. The Dow was down 6 yesterday. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Christianity arose out of first-century Judaism. The earliest Jewish believers in Jerusalem, however, would have trouble recognizing modern, traditional Christianity as its offspring. In a new book entitled Reviving the Reformation, a Jewish believer peers backward to move biblical truth forward. Author Daniel Lang attempts to recover the real first-century Messianic faith that's been lost to the modern world. Reviving the Reformation explains why the man Yeshua, Jesus, satisfies the expectations of the Messianic hope and describes the ideal relationship that should occur between Jews and Gentiles who seek out the same biblical God. It reestablishes the Torah as the instruction manual for righteous living and probes the doctrine of the Trinity. With biblical faith fading fast in Western culture, now is the time to restore the truth by reviving the Reformation. For information about this important new book, go to revivingthereformation.com. That's revivingthereformation.com.
Over 3 million businesses use Indeed.com for hiring, and independent research shows that 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. By creating the easiest, most effective hiring experience, we help businesses find great new people every day. Right now, we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job on the world's #1 job site. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Hi, Auntie Christine. Thanks for the Easter basket you sent me. It has all my favorite candies and a stuffed bunny rabbit.
Surprise the little ones in your life with personalized plush Easter baskets from Personal Creations. Each plush animal Easter basket comes filled with free candy and a free stuffed bunny, all for $19.99. Plus, you can have it personalized with any name for free. To get this special Easter deal, go to personalcreations.com, click the orange star in the upper right corner, and enter the secret code 4545. That's personalcreations.com, secret code 4545.
8:07. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Like the Edens outbound has stop-and-go traffic Montrose to Lake Avenue after a crash. It is 43 minutes Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound fine at 19. Kennedy, an hour and 21 minutes. O'Hare to downtown after a crash at the Hubbard Tunnel. An hour 10 from Montrose. 51 minutes in the Express. Outbound 52 minutes downtown to the airport. The Eisenhower, 57 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 39 from Mannheim. Outbound an hour and 3 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 46 minutes. Ryan is 22 minutes from 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, slow in pockets from Southwest Highway to 47, then from the Cermak Toll to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway, slow Mannheim to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway, 31 to Mill and 53 to 355. Veterans Memorial on the brakes, northbound I-55 past Roosevelt, and Elgin eastbound 20 is closed, 31 to 25 due to a crash. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A warmer day today with sunshine mixing with some clouds, high 61. Tonight becoming cloudy with a shower toward dawn, low 44. Morning rain followed by an afternoon shower tomorrow, high 58 and a low 47. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
42 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Ayn Rand Institute and the Yaron Brook Show. Heard Saturday afternoons at 4 here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
The end of my youth, John Giles, passing away at age 71. My blood's run cold. My memory has just been sold. So remembering Jay Giles and my youth, for those of you who are children of the 80s like myself. Amy had to depart, by the way, for those of you who are noticing it's just me. Amy taking an early spring break because she's a big star, and she can just do that. She can walk off the set anytime she wants. It's in her contract. Here's some breaking news that we do have. United Airlines CEO Oscar Munoz, who's been in the crosshairs for the last 72 hours after that Dr. David Dow incident, which you're all too familiar with, I would suggest, by this time.
I have to go home. I have to go home. I have to go home. I have to go home.
Yeah, it was him milling about the cabin after being dragged off the plane after he wouldn't get off this United flight. Oscar Munoz now recasting his position yet again. This is very political in nature. We are going to put a law in. We are not going to put a law enforcement official to take any person off an aircraft again. To remove a booked paid seating passenger, we can't do that, said Munoz to ABC News this morning. This is not who our family at United is, and you saw us at a bad moment, and this will never happen again on a United Airlines flight. Do you agree with CEO Oscar Munoz that using police, essentially police officer, that's what he said, we're not going to put a law enforcement official on a plane to take any paid passenger off an aircraft again? Good policy change. Bad policy change. 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA turnkey.pro text line. If you have a passenger who will not deplane when he or she is required to deplane for whatever reason, and you can't coax them off the plane through the art of persuasion, how do you take them off the plane if you're not going to use law enforcement official? Are you going to use your own private security? And if you are, what exactly is the difference? And, oh, by the way, you may run into problems at a United hub like, say, I don't know, O'Hare, where you've got Chicago Department of Aviation that operates the airports, and you have both Chicago Department of Aviation officers as well as Chicago Police, of course, at O'Hare. So how would that otherwise be handled when you have someone who says, I'm not getting off a plane? we had, for those of you who missed it, another incident of a similar nature happened in Detroit on Monday, where a woman was dragged down the aisle off the plane of a Delta Airlines flight prior to its takeoff, of course, because if she would have been dragged down and taken off during flight, that would have really been a story. Here's what she did, though. This wasn't an overbooking situation. This was a situation where she blew through the check-in agent because she wanted to get on the plane, because she wanted to make sure, despite the fact she wasn't, an early group, it wasn't a member of an early group in terms of boarding, she wanted to make sure she had overhead bin space because that is her constitutional right. James Madison, father of the Constitution, enshrined proper overhead bin space in the Constitution. And she apparently, according to bystanders, was had a lot of attitude, was being loud and aggressive. She wouldn't get off the plane. So you see video, it's posted, of her going limp, like David Dow, who wouldn't get off the plane, the United flight, and being dragged down the aisle by her hands on the ground, dragged down the aisle to be removed from the plane because she wouldn't get off. So what is United going to do in a situation like this where you have adult children who feel like they're entitled to do whatever they want whenever they want it, the rules or the law be damned? Take your calls, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line. Oscar Munoz, CEO of United, going from defending his employees, defending the security personnel that arrived at the scene of that flight, talking about Mr. Dow being belligerent and resistant, to saying to the question, can Dow be blamed for doing anything wrong? Munoz replied to ABC News, no, he can't be. He was a paying passenger. So Dow did nothing wrong, and United is never going to have law enforcement officials on their flights again to deal with a disruptive or belligerent passenger. Does that make you more inclined to fly United or less inclined? Taking your calls, let's go to Tom in Schaumburg. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hello?
Hey, Tom.
Hey, hi. Thanks for taking my call. What a gutless decision. What an absolutely gutless decision. I wonder how TSA would have treated this guy if he would have just ran through the check-in point saying, I want to go home, and decided he wasn't going to check in with them. I think he would have been body slammed face first to the ground, put in cuffs, and hauled away. I can't understand how you could take and feel sorry for a convicted drug dealer who was thrown off the airplane after he was offered $800 for his seat. I don't understand it.
Okay, thanks for the call, Tom. Dave on the south side.
Hey, great show. Thanks for taking the call, Dan. What the airline could have done, I know it's a coulda, shoulda, woulda, taken everybody off the flight, made them go back in the terminal, and then selectively reboarded people and told them in the airport, once you're in the airport, you're not on the plane. Then you don't have to drag anybody off the plane.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah. Okay. That's thanks for the call, Dave. That's an interesting idea. I hadn't thought of that idea. Have everybody deplane, and then you just take the four, in this instance, the United example, with the 4 seats that were needed and the random selection of 4 passengers to take off the plane, have them just pulled aside outside in the terminal outside the plane. Now, of course, it creates a more time-consuming enterprise, but it certainly would be conflict and confrontation avoidance. The other thing, too, as many people have pointed out, including me, when we've talked about this previously over the last couple of days, is the obvious other play for United is just to get volunteers and find the clearing price for volunteers. So if $800 voucher plus an overnight stay wasn't enough, then take it up the next notch to see if you get that last volunteer or last 2 volunteers that you need. That's a way to do it to avoid confrontation, too. Let market forces and the invisible hand do its magic. John on the south side.
Hey, hi, Dan. How you doing?
Hey, good.
You're the best. Hey, I was going to say, this guy drives me up the wall. I can't believe that everybody thinks, or it seems like the greater percentage of people think he's in the right. He's totally wrong. And I can't believe that United hopefully won't settle and give him a cent. And for the sleazy lawyers who took his case, Corboy and Demetrio, those sleazeballs, that they should be ashamed of themselves.
Thanks for the call,
If he
John.
followed the rules, nothing would have happened to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Right. No, I agree. Thanks. And by the way, I mean, just so you understand about Corboy and Demetrio, in terms of they should be ashamed of themselves, they're trial lawyers. It's not possible for them to feel shame. You know this. Madeline in Arlington Heights, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, I just wanted to state, I saw earlier today that they're not going to put that policy only for after a paying customer has been seated. They will not remove them. They cannot still be disruptive. They will use police if they are unruly and disruptive. But once a paying customer is in their seat, they will not use force to remove them.
Well, okay, but what if you're in your seat and then you become unruly and disruptive? That certainly happened before.
Then they will use police force.
Okay, well that wasn't that distinction. I guess wasn't made clear. I mean, I would assume they would have to. Or would they expect the flight attendants to try and physically remove them? I that makes sense to me, but that distinction wasn't clear in what Oscar Munoz said. So I appreciate that, Madeline. Thanks for the call. Annie on the Northwest Side.
It's just typical in society today. Police are the scapegoat. They were called for a disturbance. I don't know what they were told, and they had to remove someone off a plane because the United personnel said there was someone unruly, and that's their job to do. So you call the police because you need them, but then you use them as a scapegoat when you get bad publicity or something doesn't work out well. Then don't call the police. That's what the police are there for. But he's throwing them under the bus just like everyone else in society does.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Annie. And it is worth noting that, part of Munoz's recasting of his position, and by extension, United Airlines' position, is because of this firestorm and the calls by, of course, Democrats for congressional hearings. And yesterday, this silly protest with politicians preening before the always compliant Chicago Press Corps and a handful of their minions around them to pretend like there's some kind of groundswell of populist revolt against United Airlines. Here's Calamity Jan Schakowsky, who was at O'Hare, to offer this passage from the Marx Engels reader.
Right now, we actually incentivize the airlines to overbook. This is about trying to make yet just another buck.
Martin in Palos Heights, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. Here's what we're going to have. We're going to have a situation where any drunk or any punk is going to disrupt the entire system. I'd like to volunteer because if I'm on that plane, I'll happily drag them off.
Okay, thanks for the call, Martin. I mean, I guess you've seen this on flights before, where you have somebody who's disruptive during flight, right? And the flight attendants can't handle him, because it's almost invariably a him. And, you've seen the guy duct taped to a seat when he gets drunk and he becomes unruly and he won't sit down and he won't comply with orders and so forth. I don't know. I mean, part of this, though, too, is this whole kind of everybody has to weigh in. Everybody has to express their outrage. Everybody has to stake out a position on this and tell United Airlines how to operate their airlines. How often do these things happen? What happened at United, which is not even seemingly getting much attention, but the Detroit example I mentioned at the outset of this segment, this woman dragged off a plane, Delta Airlines flight in Detroit, and she was being ridiculous based on the reporting in terms of what went down. But is this a federal matter, congressional hearings, everybody telling United Airlines how to run their business? It is an outlier, right? I mean, I'm sure people have had bad experiences on a multitude of airlines with respect to customer service. But in terms of something that rises to this level, this is an isolated incident from somebody who wouldn't comply with an order. Here's my question. When three security officers or police officers show up to your row and say, we need you to get off the plane, how do you think that's going to work out? You think you're going to be able to sit in your seat because you don't want to get off the plane? I mean, it's just, does it require that much of a leap to say there's a common sense judgment standard that could easily be abided, and that's how it goes? It's like a police officer pulls you over, or a police officer does something. If he does or she does something improper, there is always recourse, but it's not on the street, and it's not from your seat. Comply and address the situation, and that kind of manhandling that Mr. Dow suffered could have been avoided on his side too. So I disagree with Oscar Munoz that there's no culpability on Mr. Dow's part. Jeff in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Jeff. Oh, excuse me, Jerry in Schaumburg. Jerry.
Yeah, hi, Dan. Thanks for taking the call. So my opinion is when security goes up to a person and they tell them basically, you need to get off and discuss what the disposition of your seat will be. The question is, no, if you don't get off, you're in violation of FAA guidelines, and you're going to be prosecuted or dealt with when you get off the plane. At that point, the airline has to deal with the fact that the person's going to ride that day. But if there isn't some kind of, disciplinary action that kicks in, irrespective of what the ticket situation is, they should be, prosecuted.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Jerry. Keith in Aurora.
How you doing, Dan?
Good.
United absolutely dropped the ball on this. They escalated the situation rather rapidly. From the trip reports I've seen on this flight, United only offered an $800 voucher once, and then they started removing people. And somebody actually, before the security was called, stood up and volunteered to get off, and he said, "Give me $1,600 and I'll get off the plane." And the gate agent at United just laughed at him and said no.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Yeah, well, that thanks for the call, Keith. That's my point is that, the easy way to address these problems and not get into the randomness, not get into the hysterics from the left of he was treated this way because he's a Vietnamese doctor from Kentucky instead of a white guy. It's just all the silliness that you get when these controversies arise. The easiest way is market clearing, right? Market clearing. What's it worth to the passenger to volunteer to get off and have United find that price? That's all. Lee and Hammond, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, this guy was definitely a jerk, but could you imagine if the Cubs were overselling the stadium every game by 10% just because he thought some people wouldn't show up? I mean, what other business could you do this in?
Well, right, Lee, but the difference is, once the plane leaves, it's gone. And so, the aviation business is a bit unique in that respect with respect to their inventory. And so, you can understand why they do what they do, and it makes sense for them to do what they do. And it just doesn't make sense to resolve it in this way, perhaps.
These flight crews, why can't they not just get seats on a competing airline to Louisville? Why do they have to fly on a United flight? I mean, it's all one big fraternity, isn't it?
Well, yeah, except they'd have to pay for it. I don't know.
A little common sense,
Thanks for the call, Lee. Appreciate it. Ken and Lyle.
Yeah, my question is, to avoid this from the beginning, doesn't United, who coordinates thousands of flights a day, know that they need the seats for their personnel and not give them away in the first place?
Well, this is the whole.
People just.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Yeah, this is the whole. But
say we need seats.
Well, right, but this is the whole overbooking issue. It kind of gets back to the same issue with respect.
Well, right,
to,
but they would have been stopped at the gate if they said, call ahead and say, hey, we have 4 personnel that we have to get to Kentucky. Don't load 4 people. And it stops at the gate, never gets inside the plane. But
right,
but
that
sounds like the plane's loaded. We didn't know we needed 4 pilots or whatever in Louisville, and all of a sudden it's an emergency where basic dispatching of their personnel, it should have never happened.
Yeah. All right, thanks for the call, Ken. Sean in Elmwood Park.
Did I hear from the communist failure, the gargoyle Jan Schakowsky? Because I've been wanting to know whatever happened with her husband, Bob, when he was paying the protesters. We ever hear anything after that, or that just gets squashed by the wayside? I'm curious.
Creamy Bob, not prosecuted again, not this time. Convicted.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Drinks are on the house. And then for Tom in Schaumburg, haven't you learned, Tom, the TSA's main function, the walking speed bumps that they are, is to prance around in those Gaddafi costumes and cost us $8 billion a year. Don't worry, don't call them. They're busy. They're on break. Union says so. So it's a scam altogether. And the other thing is, I blame the passengers. Because if I'm on that flight and that moron refuses to get off the plane, he could chase his eyeball down the aisle because you're getting off. And no, it would have never been on video. One little short jab to the back of the head, carry him off, no yelling.
All right, thanks for the call, Sean from Elmwood Park, the new head of security for United Airlines. Dan and Amy coming to you live from RJW Group, transportation logistics company in Lockport, part of our AM 560 Signature Bank Business Tour.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Bergquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Go to our website, greatparkinglots.com. Check it out, greatparkinglots.com.
Go to greatparkinglots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gevalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I love the product. I think I've been feeling great.
Just feel so energetic. Just amazing.
My cholesterol readings have never been better.
Balance of Nature has been consistent and has changed my life.
I love the product. It's really helped me.
I don't need my cane anymore. My knee doesn't hurt. I was afraid every day to wake up for fear it's going to hurt, but it hasn't hurt since.
Since I'm taking this stuff, it really is absolutely great. I mean, I'm digesting better. I have better appetite. You know, it's just worked miracles.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
You have a wonderful company. I love my Balance of Nature. My whole life is so much better.
Let's face it, most people don't look forward to taking their car in for repairs, but regular maintenance is crucial to preserving the investment you've made in your car. At Midwest Performance Cars, we take the pain out of maintaining your European vehicle by performing a thorough 40-point digital inspection complete with pictures. We will send your car's report and our written estimate out to you by email, text message, or phone, so you can be confident in our recommendations and can see for yourself what your car needs. We repair, road test, and wash your vehicle in preparation for pickup, then take the time to explain exactly what work was performed. We'll even remind you when your next service is due. Leave the responsibility for your vehicle maintenance up to us. At Midwest Performance Cars, we're looking out for the health of your Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, or other European nameplate. In Chicago at 1385 West Lake Street, book your appointment online at MidwestPerformanceCars.com or call us at 312-432-9492. And coming this summer, we will be opening our second MPC location in Northbrook, Illinois.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up, War on Cops author Heather McDonald stares down Jacobin thugs on the campus of Claremont McKenna. We'll talk about campus culture and the War on Cops with Heather McDonald at 8:38. But now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
Dan, good morning. 42 and sunshine. The president says U.S. troops will not be heading to Syria. And he contends last week's missile strike against a Syrian airbase would not have been needed had former President Barack Obama backed up his red line against the use of chemical weapons.
When you drop gas or bombs or barrel bombs, they have these massive barrels with dynamite, and they drop them right in the middle of a group of people. And in all fairness, you see the same kids, no arms, no legs, no face. This is an animal.
Russia's president saying this morning the trust between Moscow and Washington is deteriorating. Vladimir Putin says things have gone downhill since President Trump took office. He also snubbed Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. Tillerson is in Moscow for talks with Russia's foreign minister. United CEO doing full-time damage control after a passenger was dragged off a flight over the weekend. Video of that man being removed has gone viral, prompting this response from United CEO Oscar Munoz.
This will never happen again on a United Airlines flight. That's my premise and that's my promise.
Federal hiring freeze is over. Now the job cuts begin. The Trump administration telling federal agencies today that they will have to lay out more specific plans to reduce their payrolls by the end of June. This morning, Walmart is offering discounts on thousands of online orders to compete with sellers like Amazon. To qualify, customers will then have to go through their local Walmart to pick up their order. The retail giant says it can pass along huge savings by using its own trucks, an advantage most e-commerce sellers will never have. Investigators are questioning a person of interest in the deadly shooting of a Cook County judge on Chicago's South Side. The FBI offering a $25,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest tied to the investigation into the death of Judge Raymond Miles. Two 12-year-old boys and another man recovering from a shooting in Chicago's Old Town neighborhood. Police say the three are hospitalized this morning in stable condition. Indians over the White Sox in the opener of a 3-game set in Cleveland, 2-1. Cubs and Dodgers tonight at Wrigley. The news a service of Staples. Staples has everything you need for your business at low prices like paper, ink, and toner, even office furniture and technology. Right now, a 10-ring case of Staples multi-purpose paper, $19.99. In-store only, limit 2 plus tax where applicable. Ends 4/15. See store or staples.com. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher doesn't understand why Republicans tear each other down.
Why do Republicans act this way? Why can't Republicans embrace the power of unity, the ability to legislate and make change and fulfill the campaign promises of the guy who's at the top of the party and seems determined to do what he said he's going to do?
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
Hey Chicagoland, the construction season is here and it's gearing up to be a good one. About time, right? And we need to start getting our ducks in a row. So maybe you're concerned about the assets in your drafting department. Or maybe you are the asset and you'd rather be in the field than at your desk. Whatever the case, no need to worry, Draft Tech has got your back. Whether it's piping, electrical, plumbing, or mechanical, we've got experienced designers and drafters that can add value to any project. We've got the software, AutoCAD, Revit, SolidWorks, Inventor, and Plant 3D. We've got MEP and Navisworks to help guide you through the BIM waters. We've got 3D scanners that create a perfect model of your pre-project space so you can say goodbye to project-killing ads and reworks. So whether you're a big company with more projects than people or a small contractor trying to move up the food chain, Draft Tech has got you covered. Check us out at draftingresults.com. That's DraftTech at draftingresults.com. DraftTech, cutting-edge technology, old-school service.
8:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the outbound Edens, it's slow. Montrose to Willow, 37 minutes. Montrose to Lake Cook, inbound fine at 19. Inbound Kennedy, delays start at Montrose, 52 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 42 from Montrose, 36 in the Express. Outbound 49 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, 55 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, 38 from Manheim. Outbound 44 to Manheim, an hour and 2 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 41 minutes. Ryan is 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays, Southwest Highway to 75th, from the Stevenson to 47th, and from the Cermak toll to North Avenue. Adams Tollway stop and go Higgins to past Barrington Road with a crash in the left lane, then Roselle to 53. Reagan Tollway heavy 31 to Mill, Veterans Memorial. Really jammed. I-55 to the Reagan Tollway and North Avenue to 290. 80 and 94 has westbound delays, Central to Broadway. Traffic answers when you need them most on Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. A warmer day ahead with sunshine mixing with clouds. High 61. Cloudy with a shower headed towards dawn, a low of 44. Currently 42. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by MJ Miller & Company, breathing new life into your favorite pieces. Spring into MJ Miller in downtown Barrington.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and the Jacobins on college campuses, all of our young Robespierres instituting a reign of terror for anyone they disagree with within the safe confines of a college campus. The examples are legion at this point, from the unrest at Berkeley, of course, the irony being Berkeley, the home of the campus free speech movement back in the 60s, to the assault at Middlebury, to the protestations of Heather McDonald more recently, of course, the author of the best-selling book War on Cops. This was at Claremont McKenna. Claremont McKenna, which gave us Larry Arnn, who's now the president of Hillsdale College. He was at Claremont McKenna before Hillsdale. Claremont McKenna, one of the more conservative schools, certainly at the collegiate level in California. They have a classics department. They actually believe that Shakespeare is still relevant for those in theater. They believe that the Constitution and the Federalist Papers are still relevant for those who care about our representative republic. But increasingly, it doesn't matter what those who are on the Board of Regents for a particular college care about, because these institutions of higher learning that have become totalitarian re-education centers are completely turned over to the aforesaid Jacobin undergrads and the professorate, who are impossible to distinguish between the hysterical kids. And Heather McDonald experienced this firsthand, and we're pleased to be joined by her to understand what she took away from it. Heather McDonald, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, I'm so honored to be on with you, Dan. Thank you.
I saw you on O'Reilly the other night, and I thought it was interesting to you recounting what it was like to be on campus with the protests that were kind of going on all around you, but they found a safe space for you within the safe space of Claremont McKenna during the students' protestation and shouting down of your speech. Just kind of set the scene for people who hadn't heard the story yet of what happened when you went to Claremont McKenna to speak.
Well, I have to rely on student newspaper reports because I did not see the scene. I was immediately shuttled once on campus to what was in effect a safe house before the talk that did not give me a view to the actual auditorium, but I could hear the growing mob and the chanting, and I remember in particular one female voice that was just at a hysterical pitch and was eventually then taken through basically a secret passageway with a police escort into the empty hall. There were no students that were allowed to enter by the rabble. The activists that called me a white supremacist fascist had managed to defy the feckless police and put a complete blockade around both the building where I was supposed to speak and also the area where I'd been put before. It felt like, and I say this with hesitation because I don't want to sound melodramatic or maudlin because the analogy is not obviously completely apt. But it did give me insight into what it would feel like in the French Revolution, where you hear the mob is about to escort you to the guillotine, because this is really mob behavior. It's a level of delusion and hysteria that is completely out of control. And once in the building, they did allow me to speak to an empty hall, live streamed, but the mob kept banging on the plate glass windows and shouting, so it was hard to deliver the speech. And the few people inside the room, including police officers, were riveted by what was happening outside, and my Q&A session with a few students that had sent in comments via live stream was abruptly cut off, and I was shuttled out again with police presence, dashed into a Claremont Police Department van and taken to the police department.
I mean, it's just incredible. This has gone from, I don't know, 20, almost 25 years ago when I was an undergrad at Northwestern, where it was the hunger strikes for Haitian refugees. And even today, some of the kitschy, I need a safe space from Chick-fil-A because I don't agree with the Cathy family about this issue or that issue. That kind of stuff, whatever, right? That's silliness. But when you're talking about a professor at Middlebury being assaulted, as Allison Stanger was, who's not a conservative, just for the crime of escorting Charles Murray on campus, when you're talking about having to escort you in and out of a college campus like you're in some Central American banana republic and your life is under threat, there's a whole different thing going on here on college campuses, it seems to me, that have forced even liberals like Frank Bruni, the New York Times, to weigh in to try and put the genie back in the bottle.
I agree. And, one doesn't want to sound hysterical, but the irony that I just shake my head over is the mob is the one that calls itself anti-fascist. It's hilarious.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Well,
why not redefine that? They redefine everything else.
We're not, right, that's true. We're not at Nazi Germany. Obviously, we're not at 1930s fascism. And yet, when you hear windows being broken, businesses being destroyed, perceived opponents being sucker punched and maced, as happened in the Berkeley Milo riots, as happens in protests against Trump supporters, one does have to wonder how much longer is this going to go on, and where is the faculty? You were absolutely right, Dan, to link this to the professoriate, because although Claremont has a strong history of support for constitutional principles and the belief in a traditional education, there was a student editorial that came out the day after this shutdown of not allowing students to interact with me, that parroted academic jargon about microaggressions and implicit bias. These students aren't getting it out of the blue. It is being fed to them by the professoriate and the faculty. So, at least half of them are actually probably on the side of these students. But my question is, for those that still have some tenuous connection to reality and understand that I am not a white supremacist fascist, where are they in saying this enough is enough? We have granted faculty the extraordinary privilege of tenure, lifetime employment to protect their own freedom of speech and thought, and yet as the growing intolerance and, yes, proto-fascist behavior grows on campuses, the faculty are missing in action.
Well, right. I mean, you have, it seems to me, and you're getting to this point, that you've got the combination of people that are behaving cowardly and shamefully in that respect. And then you have the professors that are even more aggressive and unreasonable than some of these, bedwetting undergrads. The professor at Fresno State, who tweeted out that Trump should be executed, should be hanged and the higher the better, tweeted out that Republicans should be assassinated, 2 Republicans for every refugee denied entrance. And he can't understand why Fresno State has put his status as a lecturer at that college under review. He thinks it's part of a vast right-wing conspiracy. So it seems to me that you've got a real problem where you've got the adults conspiring with the students, and even if they represent a small fraction in terms of the expression of their position, the violence and the bellicose, if not criminal, rhetoric, even though that's a small fraction, the rest are laying down and letting them have the run of the place.
And you're absolutely right, Dan. And I think the other thing that I just hope the public starts to understand is this type of aggressive abuse of power. And again, I don't mind so much being silenced, but what these students were doing was preventing their fellow students from engaging with an unorthodox speaker. So they are exercising brute power over their fellow students, and that is really what is most appalling. But this whole shutdown speech movement grows out of something much more profound and important, which is the dominant ethos, the academic goal on colleges today, which is to teach victimology. The humanities have been completely conquered by identity politics that sees the world, whether it's on a privileged, cushy American college, which is basically every American college, or the world at large, as divided into an ever-growing group of favored victim groups and their oppressors. And that ideology is teaching a larger and larger group of people to think of themselves as abused and victims, whether they're females or people of color who are not Asian. And they're going to graduate with massive chips on their shoulder, demand more reparations, and be basically unfitted for adult life. But they will seize the levers of power. They already have to a certain extent in government bureaucracies. And it is based on a delusion. America is not a racist place. It is, all of these colleges employ massive racial preferences in order to engineer what they view as diversity. The idea that to be a minority student on any college campus today is to be in need of safe spaces, to have one's very existence threatened, which is the rhetoric that is used, is preposterous. And yet students are being encouraged to embrace a lie, and that is very consequential.
One of the other lies that they embrace is the tripe from Black Lives Matter, and I thought you had a nice piece of verbal jujitsu on O'Reilly when you talked about police being the agency that most closely exhibits the proposition that Black Lives Matter. Explain what you meant by that.
Well, there is no government agency more dedicated to the proposition that Black Lives Matter than the police. Tens of thousands of minority males are alive today who would have been dead had homicide rates remained at their early 1990s levels. This country, through the mid-2014, experienced an unprecedented 50% crime drop, and it did so because of proactive, data-driven, accountable policing, a policing revolution that began in New York and spread nationwide. The police are the ones that are going into high-crime areas, trying to get the thugs off the street. And my message that I try and convey, I go into high-crime areas. I go to police community meetings in places like south side of Chicago or south central L.A., central Harlem and the Bronx. And what I hear from those good law-abiding residents there is, where are the police? Please, Jesus, send more police. People are desperate for police protection. They want the dealers off the streets. They want the kids off the corners who are fighting and using guns. Their voices are never heard, but there is massive support for the cops in minority neighborhoods that is drowned out by the activists and the media's refusal to go and listen to those people who want help.
She is Heather Mac Donald, contributing editor for City Journal over at the Manhattan Institute and author of the bestseller, The War on Cops. Heather Mac Donald, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it.
And she joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560, The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It's working great on me. I can't believe it. I've been having a lot of health issues. You know, my muscles, my legs, my knees. So ever since I've been taking this, I've really, really improved. My blood pressures are way down. My cholesterol's are back to normal. I'm in just good shape. I can't believe this thing is going. I even lost 6 pounds when I went to the doctor. And he wanted to know what I'm doing to lose 6 pounds. But I'm not doing anything. I just taking this Balance of Nature, and it's working out for me. And it'll work for anybody, I know.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
The website, upstream-ideas.com, the digital platform that complements what we do on this show. Selected interviews like from the excellent Heather Mac Donald, who just joined us. You can find it at upstream-ideas.com. Long-form interviews with opinion leaders and policymakers, currently featuring former NRA President David Keene. Podcast of our Illinois Rising program, which covers state of Illinois politics and policy weekly. And you can also hear it live 3 p.m. Sunday on these airwaves. Man on the Street, Follow the Logic interviews, this week featuring kids at the campus of UIC following the logic on higher ed funding in Illinois, and they do a better job than the General Assembly, I'll say. In addition to 60-second commentaries by yours truly, dollars and cents reviews, 2-minute warnings about bad actors in public office in Illinois. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
Beware, the federal government can change the rules for your retirement plan at any time. Before the government finds another way to separate you from your money, arm yourself with the Ultimate Retirement Protection Plan. The plan starts with 4 special reports: the new rules of retirement, your 20-minute estate plan, hidden real estate tax bombs to avoid, and 5 easy chair portfolios. The Ultimate Retirement Protection Plan was created by Bob Carlson, America's #1 expert on retirement planning. You'll also get a risk-free membership in our private research letter, Bob Carlson's Retirement Watch. It includes a monthly newsletter, weekly hotlines, and more when you order at retirementwatchradio.com. 1 year is just $49. Try it for 90 days. If it doesn't exceed your expectations, you'll get a complete refund. Call 800-552-1152. That's 800-552-1152. Or log on to retirementwatchradio.com. That's retirementwatchradio.com.
Oh, this roof is so needy.
Call Crumweedy.
How do you spell that?
K-R-U-M-W.
Oh, just go to myroofisneedy.com.
If your roof is needy, call Crumweedy. This is Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
And I'm Mark Olson from Crumweedy. We are a third-generation family-run business, and we have been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
You can't do that unless you do really great roofs. We share the same conservative values as you, and we want to do your roof. Here's what you can expect.
First, no high pressure. You make the choice. Whatever option you choose, count on getting a roof that lasts at a fair price.
You see, application is the key. We follow the manufacturer's specifications so your warranty is intact. A lot of companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty.
Our installation is outstanding. No horror stories here. The roof you need that will fix your problems. When your roof is needy,
Call Crumweedy.
Go to myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
When you think about spring, what comes to mind? Baseball, tulips, spring cleaning? How about cleaning up your home? Hi, Amy Jacobson here to tell you about our good friends at CertaPro Painters. Spring has arrived, and it's a great time to focus on your exterior painting. Don't deny how ugly it is. You know, the chipping, peeling, eyesore of a front porch. So do what I did and call CertaPro Painters now. 1-800-GO-CERTA or visit CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. They really are the best in the business. They're clean, responsible, talented. They increased our property values. They're such a top-notch company. They've been around for 25 years and counting. So do what I did and experience the CertaPro difference. 1-800-GO-CERTA or CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Today's IT department is more than just a person fixing your computer problem or finding a lost file. It's helping people, and that's what Turnkey IT does. Real people helping your business.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm the customer service manager at Turnkey IT. I'm the conduit between the customers and the technical staff, and I help calm people when they're in a moment of distress. Part of my job is to help ease their mind and let them know that we're here to help. Before I came to Turnkey, I worked for a customer of Turnkey. Every time we ran into an issue, I just dialed our phone number here, and the guys might as well have worn a cape and tights because they always came in and saved the day. That is what we do. We're here to be their heroes and fly in at the time of crisis.
Get a fresh start this spring with Turnkey's All-In program, and you could receive all new hardware. Expires April 30th. Restrictions apply. Change the relationship you have with your IT department. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, yeah. Rest in peace, John Giles. Coming up, we're leaving. RJ Group